Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdy Playbook. We're back with Blades of Bahamut, um, with part two of a long week of D&D. Uh, just as our charity, do not forget that we're doing the Wounded Warrior Project. Every little bit goes to helping any kind of veteran that is trying to make their way back in the world after coming back from their time, help them find any work, or help them just kind of live in the world as they are. Every little bit helps, and if you need, our charity isn't always the same spot. It is the LGBTQ logo right up beneath the screen. With that to remind everybody, we have, like I said, we have a 40-week of D&D, so added to this, we also have Star Wars tomorrow, and we have another episode of Echoes on Thursday. So, a little bit every day, so check in every day. We got something going on. With that, let's get to it. And welcome back. So, last we left off, the group themselves were able to finally get over to the essential part of Alkadai and meet up with the commander, V, and kind of discussed. Maybe she immediately thinks that you guys want to be here. I can give you a job, offering you the availability to earn your keep by trying to sneak into the back way to Crimson Hollow. Whether or not you want to do this or not, it's completely up to you. Telling you that they'll give you a couple days. They're going to give you some tents to stay in. You are led by her right hand to go rest, recuperate, and when you feel willing, the next day, make your way back over to her, and either you can discuss whether or not you want to stay, whether you want to go back to the life you had, or maybe you just want to just leave altogether. No hard feelings either way. She just warns you that no matter which path you got, there is a heavy road ahead, no matter which way you choose. Each of you go to the couple tents that were sent to you, or given to you. Some of you decided to go in the tent, some of you decided to mosey off. And that's where we left off. So, we're going to start with Apollo. So, last we had of you, you were leaving after Treya was getting a little too forward, trying to figure out what's going on with you, and you decided to head off in a different direction.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
We'll continue from there.
So I think originally he was looking for a soldier to talk to.
Okay. There are plenty around. I'll give you different descriptions, and you can kind of tell me maybe which one grabs your tickles your fancy a little bit. Some more of the regular soldiers that you guys have seen before are mostly fully, not like helmed, but mostly what they cover off their faces with are kind of like almost full cloth masks. These are the ones that are kind of infantrymen. Then you got other people that look like basically kind of like guards that maybe are the defenders of the camp, more of the guardians. You definitely see them with javelins, lances, shields, more armor than anything else. They look like they're less mobile, but more protectorate of the area. And then you got the residents, family members of the area, and then a few soldiers that look maybe like they are contract soldiers. Ones that do wear the colors, but they have no specific uniform that naturally matches everything else, if that makes any sense.
I don't think he would know the difference of any of that, so I think he's just looking for the closest one.
Okay, so most likely you're going to find the Guardians. More of the armored.
Okay.
They're kind of walking around, shield up. Lance.
He's going to go up to just kind of one of them and be like, oh, excuse me, can I ask you one of you a question, please?
Sure, yeah. Well,
is there somewhere that I could procure some kind of libation of some kind?
There is there. If you head down, and he kind of like points and kind of goes, go down, take a left. There is not really like a tavern, but we got a friend of ours that keeps bringing some barrels over. If you want to go over there, I'm sure you can get yourself a mug or two.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and he'll start walking that way.
Heading over there and kind of going in the direction. It's hard to tell. There's like no like shops. There's no real signs, but you do see that there is. For this being night, you do notice that that there's a lot of light coming out of a bigger tent. But definitely the same kind of feeling you would get from going into a tavern at night. The only building that really has any lights coming out of the windows, that has music playing. It's not as busy, hyped up as a normal tavern, but it does grab your attention.
Okay. Yeah, he will. He will go into said tavern.
Okay. So the tent itself is almost the size of the commander's tent, but instead of it being round, it's more pyramid shaped, point at top, four corners, and it's there's only like a few cocktail tables. It's mostly people standing around. They got just this large wooden crap bar, and they just got a bunch of barrels that you got this one person who looks like a half elf of some kind, just popping open and trying to lift it up and then like try to pour it inside some of the actual glasses that either they had themselves or luckily that maybe some of the soldiers have their own on their side, and pours them a glass. No one pays you mind as everybody's just kind of doing their own thing. There is like a couple people at the opposite corner that are playing music, but it's very somber. No vocals. It's just you got a pan flute, and then you got a specific harp. That's what I'm thinking of, harp.
He'll just go straight up to the counter and
okay.
Like wait till somebody comes up.
Okay. After about a minute, after helping out some people, barman comes by. Sorry, it took me a while. Is there something I can get you?
It's fine. It's fine. Can I just have a drink, please?
Sure. Ale or wine?
Whatever's stronger.
Oh, all right. And kind of like goes over, and it looks like the one that's been constantly drinking out of. You can actually see like a corner that's just filled up of these actual ones that they've been emptied. And she grabs one and she kind of like lifts it up over like this actual ridge to like help teeter it, and pours it into a glass. And she over and she goes over to you and she just slides off the top and there you go.
How much do I owe you?
Oh, sorry. We don't charge here. I assumed you knew. All the drinks are part of the encampment.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And he'll kind of just take it. And he's gonna go to like the farthest table from the music, away from people.
Okay. You can find like a small table. Like most of them just have a couple chairs, and you can find one that's kind of like maybe hasn't been used because it's a little rickety, and you can find like a chair and just slide it over there and mind your own business. And the wood you were given was a wine. It's not as strong as maybe you're hoping for, but maybe if you get like another one, it might do the job. But she did give you a pretty tall um, stein worth of it.
Well, he is an easy date, so that's
Fair enough. While this is going on, anybody else? Everybody's Ren.
So Ren has just left V's tent and is heading off back to find where the group is lodged for the thing. I'm assuming Gaju's outside.
Yeah, he's still standing outside.
Ren whistles really quietly to get your attention, and then just goes like, "Come on," and waits for you.
He'll just pick up his bag and walk over. How'd it go?
Walk with me.
Excellent.
So, some background for you. V is the reason that I am as far as I am with blame. Hard to believe that she would offer anyone tutelage, I know, but she took a liking. We've been close. I owe her a great debt. And there are not many people I consider myself to. That being said, she is here for one reason only, which is her mission to restore Heartland to its former glory. Ren gets close to you while they're walking, actually casts a message at you and just says, I should probably mention that she's doing it in secret because I don't think her queen from Ebris would appreciate her activities much. Nonetheless, this is her mission, and she's been raising this army sometime. I have not been part of it, but I have been on the outside, looking for information. I do not work directly for her, yet, but we do have someone in common, and that someone is someone who has on their. I'm sure.
Sorry, what was that last bit? My internet, I think, is cutting out.
The thing that we have in common is the council member that has me on their payroll.
Okay, thank you.
Based on what you said happened earlier tonight, and based on the insignia on the orders that the soldiers here were given, I think it's safe to say that someone in the council has it out for dollar. Just don't understand why. I have informed V of such, and also of my worry that, having failed, they may turn to other connections they have in order to achieve their means. That would be you, and that would be me. But I got the impression from your previous interactions that they're pretty clear you weren't fit. So now that leaves me with a problem. Obviously, I haven't mentioned Dolly over to the council or any of their fellows. All of them work somewhat autonomously from each other, though for similar goals. Which one of them wants her, we know now, but why? And I'm very confused what she and Silic both have to do with it. They know about both of them. And I'm a little foggy on everything that happened while you were time traveling the other day, and what you told me. sort of at a loss. I think when everyone wakes up in the morning, we need to have a conversation because I think our attention split in different directions. But I am fairly certain that none of us want to turn over any of ours to me. That much we can agree. Remind me, DM, remind me, Zephinia, or Amanda, did Zephinia tell everyone that she wants to kill Kokobiel? Was I present for that? I'm struggling
Yes.
to remember.
Let me look back. I mean, I blurted
It
that
was
out.
pretty public, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean,
she said
was
it in front of
Was
everyone.
it while we were short resting? Yeah, like right before Silic left.
It was like right before we went to the tents.
Yeah, okay.
She said it to. It was like at the very end of the episode.
It was
And we
like
were all there.
a panic word vomit. It's coming out.
I
I'm killing
wasn't-
Gagopiel.
It was
I
like
don't think
right after we
I'm-
met with Vade.
I'm pretty sure you were there.
You were
Okay,
there.
also-
Pretty sure everyone was there.
Also, it doesn't seem to be my issue because Ryan is
Yeah,
saying that your mic is
I
cutting
just-
out.
I just got the note. Let me bring it closer to my face.
Yeah, it seems like
Okay.
it's a sensitivity thing.
I'm like, I know my hearing is shit, but
Well, let me turn down. Let me just turn down my noise.
Because when you talk
suppression
normally,
a little bit.
you're fine, but then when you get into the Ren voice, so it gets a little quieter and deeper, like it gets a little in and out.
All right, give me just
yay,
a second.
technology.
I will.
It's not a session without technology issues.
Yeah, apparently it was my power glitching, so I'm like, thanks MLGW. Not sponsored. Not
All right,
sponsored.
I think that should be better. Yeah, so did she say it in front of the squad while you were going back to the tents, or was it before?
Everyone was present.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Bren would say, also I'm not going on with that. Whole other.
You're still cutting out.
Great.
See, it's coming fine for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm hearing about half of the words that Ren says, but I'm
Oh.
hearing all of
Same.
what Kayla says.
Weird.
Why? Do not know. Let me turn off my note. Can't be a
Case
blade
in point.
session. It can't be a blade session without technical issues.
Indeed.
It's
Check
that high
check.
stealth score of yours.
Check, check. You hear me okay?
Yeah.
I think it's still cut out.
You're stealth
Okay.
from the mic.
Weird. It's like I can hear perfectly fine. That's weird.
So some of you are getting me and some of you aren't?
I guess I'm the only one that's getting you.
Discord is haunted.
I can hear okay.
Haunted. One more thing to try. Sorry.
It's okay. Shit happens.
Like the motto of our team. Shit happens.
Just the kind of day that I'm. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Is that better, worse?
Yep.
So far better. So we'll try
Alright.
that.
I have altered my gain control. Okay. I don't know what you are thinking, but right now I think our only option is to branch out alone. There are too many unknown variables. And I'm worried about trying to form an allegiance with anyone else, even my own. And that doesn't even bring up Nelithir and
Great puppy.
What? what lies to the north. V has given me a proposition to assist her with an infiltration of the Nelithia base. I am reluctant to accept. However, she is also volunteering to cut off the council on our behalf. And considering they are funneling money into the war effort, that is no small thing. If you want the council off Dahlia's back, this would get it for us. But we would be infiltrating an Elithirian base to the north. It would take a significant amount of time, resources, They have not been able to get inside before now. However, I fear if we leave it, then they may slaughter our kin wholesale. I am of the opinion that perhaps we should ally with them and use our combined forces to take the base to the south. That way we could have safe port for our ship without having to send it to Heartwind's territory. And we could also be rid of their presence here and anyone who has any evidence of what happened. Unless they've already communicated it back, which is very likely. I'm not a fan of loose ends. I also don't want to do anyone else's dirty work, but you know how that goes.
This group is made up of nothing but loose ends. I think it is time to tie some up. I may
know
be
that-
a wanted criminal enough here, but I don't really plan on making that worse, especially if I plan to ever come back.
Do you want to go back?
I want to watch my mother grow old. I want to hope that someday my bastard father may return, or otherwise bring news to my mother that he is dead. And I would like to see my sister eventually have a family. So while I don't care much for Nelithir, I would like to see my family well. And maybe someday, if that can bring you all peace too, then I would like that to be an option. But my life is already damned, so what's one more?
I thought Silic volunteered to help with that.
I want to trust Silic, but he also promises a lot of things that he can't always handle by himself. And frankly, perhaps it's time that I start fighting back for all the cruelties that have occurred to me in the last 8 years. So, how would you propose we try to align with Nelithir, at least here?
As I said, Vi is amenable to the idea, but she also is very aware that the reason they keep intervening here on Elkadai is because it is a stronghold that Heartwind needs. It is a tactical necessity. And they are not willing to turn it over to Nelithir or have them have a stronghold here, nor do they want to deal with Averant. And even if they do call a truce temporarily to take the south, who is to say what infighting would occur afterward?
I find it is better to fight one enemy instead of two at the same time.
Honestly, I agree, but she doesn't much care. She has two hands.
Good for her. We don't have that luxury.
No. But I think we will have to bring it to the group in the morning and see what they prefer to do. But I do not wish to drag you from one master to another. The only person I am loyal to here is her. And other than that, my mission remains the same. However much more complicated it became, I do not think that I will be welcome back on the island to which we were sent again. Which means that my vendetta is on hold, for better or worse. The good news is, much of V's army is comprised with the infected, and many of them have some avenues to control it. So I might have a little bit longer on the clock than I thought. If I can learn, which I plan to, because my timetable just changed significantly. I need some time for that. I need to be here to learn how. That way I'm not a danger to all of you or at risk of losing it. And I think that Dahlia could use that as well, considering she almost killed me.
I'm inclined
mean-
to agree.
Plus, this is as safe place as any for us to harbor. Our ship, however, and its crew need to get out of an enemy dock before they get wind and grounded. There is a place to the south where our ship might dock in hot wind territory, but it would still be out of reach, and we will be trapped here for now. But it is not hostile, not here. As long as everyone is honest and complies, we will be welcome to regroup and figure out what to do next. But we will be expected to work. And I'm not sure if everyone else wants to do the job that V wants me specifically to do. And I can't ask everyone to do it. But it does not necessarily involve killing anyone else, just investigating. If we get caught, I can't speak to what will happen, but they might not like you there very much, that's for certain.
That's a little bit of lateral. But if anyone has a chance of getting to know Aetherians, it would be the two of us. So.
Perhaps. She might need us if she does need to negotiate. On the other hand, I'm not sure what you have in mind.
I frankly am not opposed to going back and burning that lovely little village.
They're not all out to kill you, you know. Some of them are just working, just like all of you. Well, all of them. Before this. Not knowing any better. They could all be a day away from the same defection. Given the chance. Given the truth. Don't get me wrong. I hope they kill that commander when they're done. So I don't have to, but some of them are just pawns. Like you're a pawn, like I'm a pawn. They all don't deserve to die. You are not judge, jury, and executioner.
Perhaps. But if a single one of them lays hands on anyone in this group, they will lose those hands.
It sounds like you took care of that on your way here.
I'm afraid Apollo did cross that rock. Or I wish I could have done it for him. He seems to not be taking the line.
How is everyone?
Confused, mostly conflicted.
Well, let's approach it in the morning. And I'm not opposed to helping you investigate if you want. But I will not kill everyone there. We don't have the power, not right now. And with Soma here, I'm not sure you'd get very far. It sounds like leniency was the option for now. But don't forget, he wants a favor. He still has a job to do. I'm a bit tired of collecting favors owed, personally. But if you want help, I will help you to a point. It is late, and it is hours south. You would not be sleeping.
I probably will rest. Not much, though. These holes aren't going to seal themselves.
And you might get your wish if we help V. If we marshal forces to the south, then everyone will fight back, and then you won't have to feel guilty. At least I won't. I can't speak for you. This is the last time I want to be embroiled in either side. I personally, from here on out, want to act on my own. With or without all of you, but preferably with. The further we get away from warring factions, the more we can control what is within our own circle. Not having to look over your shoulder to find out if your most recent comrades have been assigned to kill or kidnap one of you is a benefit of the solo excursions.
That does remind me, though. Your other contact, do they know
Yes.
we're in the same vicinity?
I don't know, but I intend to find out. Tomorrow, when I have more access to my communication method, I will try and pry. I will be as cautious as I can. But it might be my last chance to retrieve the information. If she smells anything, I might get cut out. And if that's what has to happen, so be it. But I might be able to use that resource to my advantage for a little while longer. So we will see how good I am at lying.
Or if anyone can pull it off, it's you.
Is that a
I don't
compliment?
know. Oh, don't flatter yourself. I haven't heard from my contact since the other night, and I assume at this point that I probably won't. However, I still have a stone, and I still have a medallion. And I think if I can find a proper mage, maybe I can put that to use against my council member.
There might be some here if you ask. We can check in tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan. Until
is
then, we should get our tired asses to bed.
Is everyone asleep or in bed?
I think Apollo is out somewhere, but everyone else is in the tents. Unless you insist on going and tracking the man down, I'm not opposed. I don't think he's in his right mind to be by himself. But that's also the lone wolf speaking, so.
Well, normally you would prefer to be left alone, but I do worry about him. He's not built the same as you.
You know, the funny thing is, I actually don't like being alone.
Well, I learned something today.
There's plenty to learn about me. I just have to be open enough to share it.
I will do my best to earn it. Now, do we go find Apollo, or do we leave him to sulk? Do we think a night of whatever he's up to is safe or unsafe?
Perhaps we should just see where he is and what he's doing and judge from there.
That we can do. We're gonna go look for Apollo.
Okay. Where were you two during this conversation? Just curious.
Walking.
Just walking.
Yeah, I think just walking somewhere away from the tents.
Gotcha.
Yeah, knowing that I pretty much have free reign and that no one will bother me, I just went to places that were remote. So maybe out like where they have people posted for watch, like out where it's colder and there's trees and stuff, like away
gotcha.
from the population center.
All right. So both of you just give me. Well, what's both of your passive perception checks?
My passive is 17.
17.
13.
13. Okay. I mean, as far as Bren, you would know that depending on whether or not he wants to go into a more populated spot, there's only two spots that are really just kind of something's going on right now. There's the tavern, and then there is the wares shop, place that works on weathered leather and different kind of armors and stuff like that. That depends on if he actually wants to go where people are. But where you guys went, you might not have necessarily seen him go there. And to scour the place takes roughly about 10 minutes if you want to like individually go into each individual tent to try to find him.
Well, he's not going to get very far without extensive surveillance, considering this is his first, I don't know, 3 hours in the encampment. So he's got the makeshift tavern, or maybe a shop, or maybe someone's tent if he's so inclined. But I suggest we check the public places first.
Sounds like a plan.
So we'll go to the... I just want to go peek in to the tavern
Okay.
and tent and see if he's in there.
Do you actually go in, or do you just kind of like peek through like the tent curtain?
I'm going to peek through the curtain.
Okay, give me a perception check. Or an investigation,
Okay.
either one.
16.
You do not see him.
Can I
no.
also check?
Sure. Are you going to go in, or are you just going to peek?
I'll go in.
Okay. If you go in, you do see him almost right away. The reason why
Oh.
it wasn't seen before is because he's literally in the blind spot for peeking into the curtain. He's like literally like in a corner right there.
That's fair.
But yeah, he is. As soon as you walk in, he is like immediately like in a shadowed corner on the right side.
Is he doing anything specific or just
I don't know. Is he doing anything specific?
drinking?
Just
Just
drinking.
drinking.
Just drinking. All right.
He's not pounding them, but he's not sipping that thing.
You do see him with a very, very, very tall glass of wine.
Oh boy. I'm gonna message Ren. Oh, he's gonna be sloshed.
Well, I would volunteer to help, but I consistently make it worse whenever we have words. I don't really think he wants to hear from me right now.
I don't think he wants to hear from anyone.
I will summon my crow when we get back and have him hailed. If something happens, I'll know. But maybe leaving him alone for once is the better choice today.
Should I do like an insight check on Apollo to kind of see if there's any like specific emotions on his face?
Sure. I mean, yeah, you can give me like a just without approaching him, just kind of like what's in his mind, kind of right now.
That is a 12.
I mean, Apollo, basic. What do you think someone would see looking at you? Basic.
I think he would probably just kind of. He's not even like looking around the tavern at all. He's sitting there. He's got the drink kind of in both hands. It's probably at least half gone, if not more. And his book of fairy tales is sitting on the table, and he's kind of just staring at it.
Perhaps he doesn't need a talk.
Doesn't or does?
Doesn't. However, sometimes it is nice to just have someone around. What do you say to a small drink and a silent evening?
I can do silent.
Good. And I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna go to the bar and get 2 small, like, drinks.
All right.
I'm gonna get the lightest for me,
Okay.
because we all know what happened last time he decided to drink. What do you want, Ren?
Whatever.
One surprise for this person.
Oh, all right. You want light? Give me a second. As she like takes like this little wedge piece and just kind of pops the cork off of one that hasn't been opened yet, and immediately, starts pouring what looks kind of like the yellowish tone, a hint of like kind of like a very light IPA, and starts pouring it into like a couple smaller. When I say small, I don't mean like tiny glasses, but they're still full kind of. They're just not as big as what he has. As she slots them in front. Sorry, I haven't had anybody one of these yet, so it might be a little. I can't really shake it, so it might be a little fresh. So she just kind of slides them in front of you. Enjoy.
Thank you. And I'll hand Ren their drink, and I will take mine, and then I'm just gonna saunter on over to Apollo and sit and say absolutely nothing.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna see what he does.
So just as an illustration first, when you go over he actually has no chairs by him, so you gotta first like grab some chairs. You figure out the table he's at is actually super rickety, so he probably has like his weight on one side holding it down. So by the time you get there, you probably gotta like, whenever you get to like one of those tables where like one leg is really effed up and it's like. Every time you like, yeah. It's basically that. So like once you get there, you can immediately see that it's already angled like this. Like when you get down, like he immediately has to almost kind of like readjust his drink in case it falls.
Okay. So in that case, I'm just gonna like Captain America, like drag a chair over and sit down in it, and just start.
So you had a bad day.
Yes.
Ren's gonna lean on a temple.
Okay.
He does not even acknowledge you.
Okay.
But he is mumbling.
Is he saying anything?
He is mumbling quietly to himself.
Loud enough that you could pay attention to, or not?
I would say if you listen real hard.
Okay, I'm gonna make a perception check.
Okay.
Can I stop rolling 9s?
30-20. I mean, are you intentionally trying to be quiet from them, or are you just naturally just being quiet?
Naturally just being quiet.
Okay,
to
so
himself,
you can hear what he's saying.
For me.
Okay, so Ren, you can hear what he's saying.
So he's sitting there just like thousand miles staring at the book, and he is just kind of repeating to himself a little bit like they're right. They were right all along, and it is. I proved them right. I proved them right, and I don't even know. I don't know what to do. I guess I am them. I am that. And he kind of just like it just kind of becomes incoherent.
From out of eye shot from him, I message Gaju and I go, he's having an existential crisis.
Do you understand what he's saying? I can't.
Yes, he thinks that, I'm assuming wherever he came from, that they have told him he was a terrible person, and now he is shell-shocked from committing crimes and thinks that they're correct. So he is having a bit of traumatic breakdown, and I don't even know if he knows you're there. I think we are the two least equipped people in this party to deal with these emotions. I will just point that out.
I'm not that emotionally constipated.
Just a little emotionally gassy, but not constipated.
That was a shitty comment.
Ah!
Fuck you, man. Gaiju's gonna kind of set his drink down and just, as carefully as he can, lean on the table. And in his head, Apollo's gonna hear Gaiju's voice, and it's soft spoken, even for his normal voice, which is usually pretty quiet and low. An old monster, Apollo. You're a good person. Don't let those things win.
I'm assuming the table shifts when you lean on it.
Maybe. I don't know.
If you put like any of your body weight on it, if you put your drink on it, it'll be fine. If you decide to like even just kind of lean on it a little bit, it will start to teeter in a different direction. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's holding his drink, so the drink's not gonna go like flying.
Okay. Sure. It is more of a nuisance than anything else.
So if the table shifts, he actually like throws his hand out and grabs the book, and just replies back with, "I know you're both there, and I don't know what I am." And I'm gonna look around. Is there like a fire anywhere in the tavern?
No.
But he'll just kind of be like, perhaps it's time to maybe grow up and figure that out. And he'll stand up, leave his glass there, and he's gonna walk out of the tent.
Okay.
When I get outside, do I see any like bonfires or anything?
There is like one you already knew of because it kind of takes up a lot of the. It's pretty close to where a bunch of the soldiers' smaller tents are. It's kind of a gathering place of a huge bonfire of just anybody who needs to get warmth while they're actually on guard duty. You can just kind of keep coming back and forth, warm up their hands, take off their gloves and warm up and put them back on, circulate around, so on and so forth.
He's gonna kind of just walk up to that for a minute and stand there,
okay,
and see if and not see if they fall, but he's just gonna contemplate for a minute.
If upon hearing the, I guess we'll just have to grow up and see about that. Gaiju's gonna kind of worriedly look at Ren, put his drink down, and like slowly get up and start like following, but at a distance because he's a little worried.
Okay.
You're muted.
Did you take your book?
Yeah.
When you got up? Okay. Ren's
He grabbed it
gonna.
when it started sliding, picked it up, and made that comment and walked out.
Ren will down their drink in one drink, put it on the table, and follow Gachio at a distance.
Okay.
Ren didn't hear any of that conversation because it was in their head, so they're just like,
No,
Well-
Apollo spoke out loud.
oh, okay. I was like, well, he tried.
So after like a minute or so, not really looking back, if you guys are close enough, you're gonna see Apollo holding the book, and he throws it into the fire.
Okay.
Does he do anything, or is he watching it burn?
He just kind of throws it in there and just kind of keeps looking at the fire.
I'll slowly approach and stand beside him, start watching the book burn.
It does burn pretty quickly. This is one of those really, really large fires that requires quite a lot. So once you throw it in there, unless you kind of like threw it at the edge, it does kind of get enveloped in flames pretty quickly.
He throws it dead center.
Dead center, yeah, it burns like in less than a minute. It gets fully engulfed.
And as Gaiju walks up, he just kind of goes, "No, I am a monster, and I need to embrace that. But it's time to grow up, like I said. Good night." And he turns and starts walking back towards the tent.
Apollo, why do you
No,
think you're a
stop.
monster? You're not the only monster in this group.
And I guess telepathically he'll reply back, Well, then I guess I'll fit in. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Nothing wrong with that. And Gaiju will just start walking back towards the tents.
Okay.
Ren's gonna stop, glance in, like where he threw it, and then follow after Gaji a little bit ways away, just watching them both.
He just goes back to his tent to go to sleep.
Okay. Pulling it back a little bit for the people who have not had a chance to do anything yet. Anything you want to do?
Okay,
Assuming
in
there's
there.
no further commentary from Triad, Dira is just out. She has not slept properly for 3 nights, so...
And then, as far as in that tent, is there anybody else other than just Treya and Dira? Just Treya and Dira. Okay. Alright,
I think the other person in it was going to be Apollo, so...
got it.
Yeah, and then me and Zafini, I think, are in the other 10, right?
Mhm.
I think so.
Yeah.
And is there anything you two want to do?
No,
Not
Dahlia's
in
focused.
particular.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna, like,
she's
hug
focused
the-
on.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay, she's gonna like curl up with like the little flute. I think it was a flute or device that Soma had given her to contact him to find Aegis, and she's just gonna like curl up and fold her wings in and curl into a ball and go to sleep.
Dahlia's just focused on getting her spell slots back so she can cast sending to the right people. So she's gonna sleep as much as she can.
I think the tents are short a bed, but Ren is going to post up at the foot of Treya's bed and lean against it and sleep.
Okay. When you get in there, Treya's not there.
Gods above.
That is neatly
Right.
made.
Put a bell on her!
Ren is pissed. She is going to be the death of me. Ren's gotta go look for her.
Give me an investigation check to see if you can just spot her out in the crowd.
23.
23. After doing some investigation, just looking and then moving the look and then so on and so forth, you notice that you don't see Treya walking around the crowd anymore. You check inside tents, you look around, you don't see her. You start just randomly like moving your gaze around. Probably about 10-15 minutes. You see what looks like sort of an elkish creature that matches her coloration. The pink stripe going down up on a hill pretty high, just kind of looking up into the sky.
I'm gonna go up there.
Making your way to her location, you notice that whatever form she took is specifically meant to allow her to not be as cold in this environment as her natural form would allow her to be. She does not notice you walking up. She's just kind of standing at the edge of like this. It's not really like a cliff, but it's kind of like the edge of a mountain. And she's just
Cast
you're gonna
a cast message. Yeah, I'll just cast it and just say, "It's beautiful, isn't it?
You
When
just
it's
kind of.
quiet."
She doesn't know you're behind, so you just kind of see like a little twitch, like almost like she wasn't expecting anybody to communicate. You hear her voice communicate back, and she just keeps gazing out. Yeah, I'm not used to seeing the open sky like this. Where I am, it's usually pretty covered, pretty bleak. It's nice out here.
I walk up next to her and just like tousle some of her fur on like the front flank.
Okay.
Something bothering you?
I'm not good at sleeping. Sleeping usually leads to dreams, and dreams usually lead to visions, and visions usually lead to, well, darker visions. So I usually try to go into a happy place for a little bit, then if I can sleep, I can sleep. So I'm just trying to take in, the few things that are nice about this area. And since most of the bad things are on the ground, I'm keeping my eyes on the sky. She looks at you. She starts turning her body. It's not necessarily like an elk, it's kind of maybe it's a creature you've never seen before. It's still four-legged, but the horns are a lot more pronounced. The body has a lot more fur than a regular elk. Maybe it's something that she's seen before. You're not quite sure what it is. She starts walking back down. She's like, I think I'm all set. And then she just starts slowly pacing her way back down the hill.
What is this form? I've never seen this creature before.
Yeah, there was, it's a long story. There was a trader that came through when I was a child, that worked for, the Averant, and he specifically dealt with, well, he was trying to, they paid him to learn how to make creatures to fight in the war. And from my understanding, he had a specific talent of cross breeding. And there was one that got away, and it was on its last leg of sorts. For some reason, it came to me. And I think it was the only one of its kind, and I gave it some comfort by trying to figure out how to look like it. Made it seem like it was one of his, and yeah, this form kind of gives me some comfort. I think I'm the only one of my whatever I am, and we kind of bonded for what little time that we were together, and we couldn't really talk too much, but I think we understood each other quite well. So she just keeps walking down the hill as she's talking.
Treya. What do you hope to find out here in the middle of this war?
If I could help, I wouldn't be part of this, but like I said, my visions have a way of being a nuisance until I do what they kind of ask of me. Whether they are questions, statements, or otherwise, they always send me visions, and however they are sent to me, or whoever sends them to me, I don't know. But until I do what they want, they just keep plaguing me, whether it's daydreams or nightmares, until I do them. So.
And what question are you working on right now, then?
Well, I mean, the previous one was this group. Now that I'm with you, that one's away. The current one that I've had for the past 2 nights is odd, to say the least. I can't. It's difficult. the first couple weeks getting a vision is it's like a puzzle. You don't really understand it. It comes in a fog, and even if you do, you forget it by the time you wake up. It's bits and pieces. I don't know yet. It's scary, and I don't want to see it. So the thing I've always figured to do is try to put my head in the right spot and hope for the best by the time I put my head down on the pillow. More times than not, it works. And I seem to have usually looking at the sky usually centers me. So it's usually a good way to balance me out. I don't know why, but just looking up at the stars has always kind of made me feel comforted.
Well, stay nearby while you're sleeping. And if something scares you, or if you need someone, I'll stay right there.
She starts to, as you're saying that, she starts to slowly but surely transform back into Treya. As slowly but surely her horns start going into her head, and she starts sitting up straight. You can see kind of the ugly cry from her as she immediately grabs and holds you right tight. It's thank you. Thank you.
So uncomfortable for Ren. They're like, oh god, there's someone touching me.
No one's really ever been there for me. Thanks.
They freeze, and then they pat,
I'm gonna go to bed now, and then she starts running.
Wait! And Ren just keel hauls after her.
But she does head back to the tent.
Good.
Anything anybody wants to do before the rest? Okay. If you haven't already, you can do the long rest button.
Oh, thank God! Every time you ask more than once, it just gets me stressing.
Okay. Nothing is needed to watch out. There are guards around this place. Nothing happens. It was pretty late by the time you all went to sleep. It is about, if you want to get the exact 8 hours, with exception of Gaju for meditation, the rest of you would wake up roughly about 10, maybe 11, depending on how much time it took you to go to sleep. Gaju doing your half rest, you would get up, roughly about 7. Anything you want to do before the rest wakes up?
I kind of want to see something about the stone, so I may kind of head out and see if I can find a mage or someone that has a lot of arcane abilities.
Mm-hmm. Okay. During that time,
I guess.
Just looking for just a mage.
Yeah, or just somebody who has more magic knowledge than me.
All right, give me an investigation check to kind of look around the camp to try to find a mage.
I swear to God, if I roll another 9. That's a 7.
7. Okay. How much time do you want to spend actually looking for a mage?
However long it takes.
Okay. You can give me one more investigation check, spending more time to maybe even ask around to see if anybody knows of a well-tuned mage.
Okay, that's better. That is 16.
16. Eventually asking around, you some of the guards eventually tell you that there is one of the mages that's not actually a soldier. There is a certain healer and one of the essentially scholars of the area that also writes down the sort of tale that's going on with this whole area. Less of maybe a magical mage, but more of just a writer of songs and tales. but still a mage nonetheless. And tells you that the tent itself is about midway in. It's not like for the soldiers, it's not for the civilians. It's kind of like he does have a purpose. They do use him for certain things. But yes, you're able to find his tent, and he doesn't have like any like business tent. He just has a regular tent. But you do see that he does do a little bit of business on the side. He does make his own specific kind of staffs, and he is essentially kind of an enchanter. But you're able to get in, and by the time you actually get to the tent, you actually kind of already see like a little bit of a stone pot fire inside. As you can see, he's already awake. Even without looking inside the tent, you do see about a very, very young, for a human, like early 20s, shaved head, kind of like a faded beard, and wearing like a long, really clean tunic with a little bit of design, but nothing crazy expensive. A couple pouches on. You can just see him just take a little bit of a pipe smoke while he's trying to shave off, and looks like he's crafting some kind of staff for somebody. As you can see, he's got like this whole shelf of, whether they are specific just quarter staffs or anything like that, or actually magical ones. You can see that he does have like a little table where he does attune them with something. You can see he's got some shells with some crystals and different kind of enchantments.
Okay.
You were told that his name... A list of 5,000 people inside this encampment. 1 second.
It's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you guys gave me many different options. Where is he? There he is. Pull out mages. You were told his name is Fulmer.
Fulmer?
Yep, Folmer.
Okay. I'll kind of like tap on the edge of the tent before entering.
Okay.
Sorry to bother you.
Oh, don't bother. Hi. How can I help you?
I was told that you could, that you had knowledge on magical weapon, items.
Oh, yes. I have plenty of knowledge. Sit, please. Almost like he looks like he rarely gets any guests. Well, please, he kind of like dusts off like a pillow to sit on.
Okay, I'll kind of like awkwardly like sit with like my horse hooves and everything, so it's not like
all right, fair enough.
Getting dirt on the pillow, but yeah.
Yeah, you just see that he kind of has like the simple like sits on pillows and has like the low table, like low legs and everything like that. He's just crafting one on there, yeah.
All right. And I'm gonna kind of like reach into my pouch and pull out the sending stone from Tall. I have the sending stone, and having some issues with who it also communicates to, and I wanted to know if there were any other properties to this stone that I should be aware of.
Oh, sure. As he like takes it from you and he puts on like these glasses and he keeps changing the lens and it keeps changing the color. And he just kind of keeps doing it over and over again. It's like, oh. And you can kind of like see that like the color he turns it on his lens is like purple. And he starts like looking at it. Well, it's very unique sending stone, not crazy enhanced, but so this just communicate. I'm assuming that just communicates to one person directly.
Yes.
Okay. Kind of like twist like a knob.
Unless
on his
you
lens.
think otherwise.
Well, I mean, yes, but it looks like it's maybe yours does, but it looks like maybe your other person can do something different with theirs. Yours just can just send and receive to, I'm assuming, their stone. Just like, it's like, give me 1 second. He gets up and he kind of like gets up and puts his glasses down as he takes it, and he kind of goes over to a spot and kind of takes a little hit of his pipe, and he kind of goes down. He puts it on his table. He, like takes like kind of like a vice, and he kind of like puts it in clamps, and kind of like takes like this little wand, and he starts like kind of like sparking it, like he like kind of like touches it as like a little bit of spark comes from the stone. Just kind of like looks at it, and he sparks it, and you kind of see the sparks turn purple. Kind of like sparks it again. Comes back, grabs the glasses, re-looks at him. This time you see he can put on like a red lens, and he's looking at it. So kind of comes back, he sits down, he kind of passes it back to you. So it looks like you can actually, if you decide to do a little bit of work on this, you might actually be able to know where he is, or at least where his stone is.
Fantastic.
Nothing done in a day, of course, but
Of course.
if it's something you want done, I can definitely do that for you. But the most stones can, especially ones that are locked into each other, can also find each other. But most likely this one was probably given to you with just a simple, basic communication, but it does have the properties to be a location spell of sorts.
How much would something like that cost?
Well, are you looking for time? Like, you want it done soon, or would you rather just have it done cheap?
Unfortunately, cheap.
Cheap? I mean, if you give me, let's say, kind of like looks around at this stuff, maybe 5 days, I could probably do it for 10 gold.
What would be the faster rate then?
I could get it done tomorrow if you want to pay me more.
How much would that be?
Probably about 20.
Alright. Let's do that, but I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is there a way you can put an enchantment on that so that it can't be located? Mine, specifically.
I could definitely make it where the other stone couldn't locate it, yeah.
Perfect. How much would that cost as an extra?
If you still want it done tomorrow, just another 5.
Excellent. That was exactly what I was hoping for.
Oh, perfect.
So,
Always
made
love
my
having
day
customers.
already.
All right.
In that case, I'll leave it with you and get it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, if you just want to come back tomorrow morning, I will make sure it's all set for you.
Alright. And I'm gonna preemptively pay him the 25.
Okay. And he's just gonna, like, as you pay, he's just like, not to be rude, no one really likes this, and he kind of comes by and he just grabs like a piece of your hair. I need this to attune it to you. Sorry. And he just like takes a piece and he just kind of like grabs it and just like walks off.
Maybe ask before you touch people's
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
Really
I gotta
rude.
get used to that. Yeah.
Especially mine.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. See you tomorrow. Good luck. If you need anything, I will be in the tents that way.
Oh, okay. He kind of like takes it. He's like almost like he's very fascinated by this. You know, like it's not just a regular stone; it's like a unique stone. So he's like fascinated to work on it.
About what time is it now?
With that, it'd probably be about 10. So most
So
people
about
will be
the
waking
time.
up. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna start making my way back towards the tents, and there's actually like a little bit of a skip in his step because he is quite content that what he
Skipping
was
his hoof.
hoping for. Skipping his hoof. But yeah, he's quite content that what he was looking to have done can be done.
Sure.
So yeah,
Fair enough.
heading back.
Okay. So as everybody starts waking up, you know, whether or not any of you had a well rest or not, you wake up and the surprised look of a very happy, maybe even giddy Gaju coming to the tents. Whether that throws you off or puts you in a good mood is completely up to you. But
I'm so freaked out right now.
right. So, unless for some reason your character would actually sleep in a little bit further, you would all be waking up at this point with your long rest.
Thank goodness.
With a new
Yeah,
day.
Dira's just kind of arrange her stuff, not like get anything out, but make it like tidy around the bunk, and then just kind of sit on the cot and wait to find out what we're doing next.
Okay.
Phinea's gonna turn to Dahlia, because I'm assuming she's getting up as well, and just be like, where do we go from here?
Dahlia's probably laying in her bed, like staring at the ceiling, like, I don't know.
We're all just having our own mini crisis.
Speaking of mini
Or
crises,
not so many as the case may be.
Joe, how's my cleric battery going?
Give yourself
on-
an insight check.
Love this for me. Insight yourself, baby.
Oh, it like
No.
teetered to a natural 20, and then it tipped.
Still 12.
It doesn't feel too much different in the past couple days. You still feel at least normal when it comes to your powers. You don't really feel too different, and that's not saying like you. It's not like saying you got a terrible insight check. It's just you don't feel like you. If you didn't know about this instance, you wouldn't have noticed anything.
Okay. Cool. So no reason to start sweating right away.
No.
So I'm guessing Gaiju came in the tent.
Yeah.
She'll look between the two, and she'll totally linger longer on him because she's like, "Why the fuck is he smiling like this?"
As if Phineas forgot her question, she's looking at him like,
They're both just like, "Hello."
What?
who are you and what have you done to Who are you and what have you done to Kaiju?
She's so perplexed. She can't form words. I understand.
I'm allowed
Just-
to be happy, girls.
It's a great look on you. It's just, did something happen? Is there like cake involved? Like it?
Unfortunately, no. But I was having my sending stone checked out, and some good things can happen with that.
Can you
so-
teleport with it too?
No, but I might be able to track where my council member is, which will come in very handy, if especially I'm sticking your older brother on him.
Okay.
Good news. Good news.
Oh shit, speaking of older brother. Fishes out sending stone, sends message to Silic, being like, "Hi, how's the defecting going?"
I'm just gonna sit down between the two of them.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. You get a response back, kind of like, "Oh, it's fine. How you doing?"
It's still cold. Gaiju's smiling. It's weird. And it's been interesting. Are you in New Avrin?
You get an immediate response. All right, hold up. Gaju's smiling.
Oh
That-
my god.
You're fucking with me, right? Oh, but no, I am not New Everett.
Like side eyes Gaiju because no one can hear this conversation except her, and then she goes, "Yes, he's actually smiling. Where are you? Did you go to New Avrin?"
I did not go to New Everett, and I am currently. I gotta remember what I call this area.
side-eyeing. You just rolled. Are you lying to me?
No, I'm not lying. I'm trying to figure out where he is at this time. Because he was at a certain location, but then he's pulled back to you guys. So, okay.
He did say that the first thing he was going to do is go get her dad. That's why she's calling about that.
Mm-hmm. He responds right away. I am in one of the Abyss temples right now. Recruiting some help.
Oh. Okay. We'll keep posted, I guess. Do I need to contact the Soaring Flame for Papa?
He responds, no, he is my top priority, but I cannot get him myself, so I'm recruiting some friends.
From Abyss Kingdom?
He responds back with like a confusion. You do know I was born in Abyss, right?
I know you were born in Abyss, but like I thought like you couldn't go back, and then there was like you know, it's fine. Have a good time. Bring back some souvenirs. I don't know.
Just responds back like, I'm not staying there. I'm just getting them, and I'm heading to go get your dad. But yeah.
Okay. Do you need us to do anything? I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know where we're going from here either. Do you have any advice? How do you defect?
He's like, wait, I thought you were gonna join the guild.
She just puts a stone down. Are we joining the guild?
We're going to talk about that once Rand's awake.
Good idea. That is a tentative. We'll keep you posted. But we're alive. Just letting you know.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'll just take care of this. You guys seem like you got a lot on your plate right now, trying to figure out what to do. I would highly recommend, if you ask for my opinion, is to just do your own thing. Don't be part of the war in any way. Just figure out what you all want to do.
I am with you on that one. So, I'll check in later. If you need me, you have this stone. You could just show up, I guess, in front of me too. So, cool.
Just responds, okay, good talk. I'll talk to you later. And then just stops there.
Puts the phone. Puts the stone.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah. It's a shell phone.
Oh, that's where the stone should have been. They should have been seashells.
Genius. Well, Silik's opinion is that we should do our own thing. Kind of agree with that. But I don't know how to do that, so.
I don't even know what my thing is.
Wait till the others are up. Why is it so weird that I'm smiling?
We just don't see it that often. It's not bad. It's just
great.
Different.
We love it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So around this time, hearing all the voices from the next tent, Jiro's gonna just kind of get up and come in. So what are we doing?
That is the question.
Is anyone
someplace
else
we
awake
supposed to
over
be?
there?
Ren is awake. Ren splits attention. One half Treya. Treya's up now?
Yep.
And one half Apollo. Is Apollo up now?
I don't know, it's
Yes,
follow up.
Apollo was up now. Apollo was dreaming of putting small children to bed.
Cute. Better
No.
than what the other alternative.
That in another reality. Yes. No. Yeah. He's up and he just kind of makes his way in and kind of just stands to the back.
A bunch of you see Ren in their Soaring Flame uniform for the first time, which you probably all have been to the Soaring Flame Temple, so you know what it is, but... Well, I think we need to do some talking, so let's get everyone together. And I'll join you in a moment. I need to check in. Alright?
The food?
I'm sure there's food. What do I know about the way that V runs camp? Does everyone get food at, like, a mess tent, or do they all, like,
Food's
just...
always being served. There's usually different tents that have them, so there's usually, within a couple of the actual... There's, like, no mess tent, essentially. There's just a few of the soldiers' tents that have different pots that are usually on fires. Usually for civilians or non-soldiers, there's usually food actually being served in the same tent that the tavern is. And it's usually just small batch stuff, stews, just vegetables, and random produce you can find around Alkadai. Berries and so on and so forth.
No pocket pancakes. I'm so disappointed.
There's no ship for that.
Hey, you got plenty of pocket pancakes in stock. You can have some of those.
If we could get the ship back.
Right.
Oh no.
I'm gonna
That should be
just...
part of our
We have
conversation.
made some choices.
For most
For
D&D
sure,
groups,
absolutely.
for most D&D groups, you guys are eating pretty well. You guys can count down for a little bit. You know, like
Yeah, the only thing that's unusual for us about D&D groups right now is that we've never been paid ever. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
I have no money. We're...
Once, but it was before you joined.
Yep, Ren has not made one gold, not one
we're
gold.
on the cusp of level
Yeah,
10,
and you guys are
our
told how
asses
much
are
you would make
poor.
doing this job, but you're like, yeah, no, and yeah, so you're not getting paid for that.
Nothing is worth
yeah.
nothing is worth the price of your conscience, Joe. All
Morals
right,
are priceless.
Ren is gonna step away while everyone gets together in the next tent or whatever, or waits for them to leave, and is gonna try to send to that one council member that they talked to.
Sure.
I'd really appreciate a report on if anything curious has come up in Avrant leadership in the last 24 hours. If you are privy to that information.
I'll keep you up to date if anything is updated.
So that means nothing yet?
Nothing yet.
Silence is good. Treya is secure, some complications on my end, but it sounds like not worse for wear. Anything that you need at this moment?
Nothing at the immediate moment, but stay in touch.
She is a handful, you know.
One would assume.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Don't even hear a response.
Alright, and I go into the tent.
Okay.
I look, and Gaju has... I'm like, what's with the look?
What? Look.
You just look very
It's called
pleased.
Happy.
Oh, it's going away! Why is it going away?
That's more like it.
Oh no.
Oh
We have
no!
lo- We have lost. We have made Gaju so mad.
Oh no!
He fucking walked out.
Venus gone.
All right.
I don't want to find
Wait.
the internet again.
There you go. We're getting there.
There they are.
Sorry, Discord closed on me.
Damn you, Discord!
The timing
Gaju
was
got
immaculate, though.
so mad that he walked the fuck out. He's like, you know what? I'm done. Bye.
This is why I don't get happy.
Never smiling
Guys,
again.
fuck all of y'all.
So in the interest of brevity, I share with the team what V told me the night before redoing this job. I also share about what V told me about the council and say my reasons for wanting to help her is because I think she's an ally that will need dealing with the council, and that's no small thing. And then also they would tell them about their proposition to perhaps recruit Nelithir, the base to the north, in order to help with the Aberrant soldiers below, since they're kind of on the back foot at the moment, but that there's no guarantee it would create a lasting truce on the island or what would happen. But most importantly, we are, regardless of what happened yesterday, you are all more free than you have ever been. Save Soma, save Kokopiel, and a few other entanglements. This is your choice. Your chance to do whatever it is that seems right to you. I personally would prefer not to have any more masters, but I can't speak for all of you. However, there is the option to truly freelance, for real, this time. Be beholden to yourself. No one to decide what is right for you, except you. What do you think?
Not something I ever thought about before. I mean, my whole life was devoted to the military. I never really had another option until I met all of you. Not a bad thought.
Dira?
A month ago, I had one commanding officer. I had clear instructions. And I knew what to do. Sorry. Excuse me. Now, you say we ain't never been more free. It feels like we got 17 people telling us what to do any given time. I go where you all go. I don't even know anymore.
How's Apollo looking right now, Ben?
He's just sitting there listening.
Apollo,
Yes,
copper for your thoughts.
I'm here. Whatever we decide.
Well, as I see it, we have one massive problem, which is that our ship is in what one might call enemy territory, and it needs to be liberated. The other is that you have now been given an assignment from Soma for his continued cooperation. The other is that we are stuck between three rivaling forces on this island where we are currently safe, but otherwise have to decide how to get off of it. I have checked in with the council today and have been informed that there have been no immediate changes within the brass of Aberrant. I do not know if that is true or not, but it is what I have been told. I do not know if they know that Garju is with me. I do not know if they know that Dahlia is with me. I do not know what they want with her, but I will keep it at arm's length and to my advantage for as long as I can. However, I can only assume that means they know where I am at all times, and I have no solution for that at the moment. To be perfectly clear
I liked
with all of you, My current objective is to watch this one, and I point at Treya. That is what I have been assigned to do. So as long as I'm doing that, perhaps they will leave me alone. If they come calling for Dahlia or Silic, then we will have to discuss, because I am not willing to participate in that. Not anymore.
I'm gonna look at some of the magic users. We've talked long distance before. Can any of you reach our ship and just tell them to come this way?
Just tell me who the contact.
Probably Arthur. I don't trust Cindy.
She's a little weird.
Kinda gotta screw loose.
So we have to decide, do we want to tell them to go to... V told us that they could go to Fort Phoenix, I think it was? Phoenix, and that they could have a place to dock there, but I don't know how far away it is. I think she told us, but I'm not sure. And that's assuming they can get out safely. But they could go there, but there's...
She was kind of implying that on the assumption that you would join her cause, that you would be able to dock at Fort Phoenix.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of told them, is like, our advantages are thus.
Oh,
if
gotcha.
we cooperate
Fair
and
enough.
help her with this mission, we can dock our ship. I can do, like, I would have told you all about, like, training the plague. I can do that. We can have a place of safe harbor right now where they can't get to us, and we can decide to be free agents if we want, but this is the only place right now where we can do that without being constantly, being hunted. So... that's why it behooves us to help them, is because it gives us a place to regroup and maybe, like, get some resources and access to things and maybe get some money, and I'm not sure, but, you know. It doesn't mean that we'd be joining Heartwind, it just means we'd be helping, and with her willing to eschew the aid of the Council on my behalf, on our behalf, it might get them off our back, maybe for good. I don't even know what they want with you, Dahlia. And I won't know maybe for some time, if ever, but if we could have any leverage, any allies in that quest, this is the way it's going to happen.
Personally, I want to get as far away from all of this as possible. But if that means, and I look to everyone, we have to do a couple chores to get the resources and get our ship, then we'll do it.
The bonus is that Averant will not come for us here. Even if they're looking, either they will assume that we have left if word gets back, or they're not willing to send anyone in front of V's sniper. That hasn't gone well. They would have to mount a full force invasion, and I doubt that they will find that very successful. And I doubt that we're worth it at this point. So, it is perhaps the safest place that we can be at the moment. Except for perhaps a soaring flame temple, which I could arrange if you would prefer. But we have no way to leave this island. Not right now. Not without our ship. Not without a safe place for it to land.
Maybe taking the odd job here and there, doing chores, as you put it, wouldn't be the worst thing.
It will not
As
be
long as we can
chores.
get paid.
It will be subterfuge. But it is not... We have not been assigned to commit violence, just to infiltrate. And perhaps, if all goes well, maybe it will be a negotiation instead of a spy mission. But that is what she needs my help for. And she's trusting me to trust the rest of you, and that is more than I can say for the way she treats most people. We can meet with her for more information if you would like some clarity on anything.
Any objections?
What we need to do to survive. Keep y'all safe.
How far are we from Tirak? Is that what that place is?
You are. So you're in the middle of Elkadai. So Tirak is going to be closest accessible by Huriston, which is where the Advent is at. To get to Huriston to Tirak is about, if the weather allows it, about a half-day walk.
I had a quest to establish communication in a nearby soaring flame group. That
Here?
may be an awkward for us.
Oh.
In
Here?
Tirak.
Does Ren know about that branch? Or that temple or whatever it is?
Probably not.
There is an established group of Soaring Flame here. I did not know that.
I found out when we were visiting Dahlia's father. I
Did
just started following Alosna, and I asked a member at that branch if they had anything for me to do. They asked me to reestablish communication. If we
Well,
could
I'm
get
certain-
there.
I will certainly
I'd
help
like
you
an
do that.
option.
In addition, did you tell Ren about the stone?
About my stone?
Yeah.
I was about to.
Okay.
As far as your location problem, I actually have a mage here working on my stone, so that it can't be located. If that's something you're interested in, I can show you.
I have some questions. It will probably cause me to be made immediately, so that might be a little bit of a wait until that happens, but that's potentially useful. As far as this soaring flame goes, I will have to ask V about that.
Perhaps I
Peculiar.
can go with you.
It's peculiar to me that she hasn't brought it up. Why she
Perhaps
wouldn't
she doesn't
know. It's possible. She has a fairly decent relationship with the Flame in general, because of their ties to Alasna. So I'll have to ask her. I think we should all meet with her today and discuss, and then if you decide you do not want to participate in this mission, I understand, but we will likely still be stuck here for a time. I need to learn to control the infection before I become a danger or before it kills me. And if I don't, I'm just a liability to you all. Honestly, that's my own reason for being here, besides the fact that I owe V a great deal. But none of you are beholden to her the way that I am. But she is a good person.
Well, time is of the essence to get our ship out of Sogaria, so it seems like we do have to make somewhat of a decision now.
Yes, I'm worried that if we let too much time pass, they will ground it, and we will never get it back.
Fort
I don't
Phoenix?
see no way around it, or any reason to look for one right now.
Worst case, we can tell them to start heading in that direction, and if we change it in the next couple of days, it won't be a horrible adjustment for them to do.
I
But
agree.
I prefer they get out of that port as soon as possible.
I agree. I think Dahlia should tell them to leave straight away.
And with that, I'll cast sending to Arthur. And she will say, urgent. We need you out of Sorgaria now. Head to Fort Phoenix.
Okay. Okay. Where's that?
Don't don't you have a cartographer on board or something?
No, you guys don't have a cartographer on board.
Ah, fuck.
I thought we
I
did.
don't know.
Let me double
Guy
check.
was the Cartographer.
Hang on a second. Maybe you guys did. Hang on a second.
I thought there was somebody.
Also, please tell him to keep it quiet. He's a bit of a chatterbox. This is
Captain
top
Cindy,
secret.
Gantar, Adrien, Mala, Reeve.
Yeah, I don't see anybody that's the navigator in the
No.
list that he gave us. I'm
No.
looking at my spreadsheet.
No, I don't think there's actually a cartographer. There was people
There
that
should be at least maps on board, though.
there are maps
There's
on
gotta
board,
be.
yes. But you know, he was just trying to get like where should I start looking on the map, kind of like that. But yeah. Yeah, he just like, where would I be going? And am I meeting you there?
Fuck if I know. I don't say that. But
Tell him to tell no one else except essential members of the crew, and that we will give them further instruction in a few days.
hire one
Remind
if
me
you
where
must.
Phoenix is.
Where is Phoenix? Yeah. Not that I can really point it out on a map through the ascending, but
V told me where it is, so I would be able to tell you where it is. I don't know where. Ren knows where it is now.
Yeah.
DM help. Where is it?
Where is
The Southlands
We're
somewhere.
looking
like-
at a map.
So Fort Phoenix is going to be it's going to be just south of Vior. So it's going to be like here so it's going to be right here.
Okay. So does Ren tell Dahlia that information?
Yeah, like this is where it is. Tell only the essential people. Just start sailing east, and we will follow up. How long is that sail, DM, from like
From
where
New
we're docked?
Averant,
Yeah.
due to
Well, from Sargaria,
Sargaria.
because that's where
From
they
Sargaria.
Oh,
are.
that's right,
Sagaria.
from Sagaria. You know, without having any difficulties, making sure you can leave Sagaria and getting over there without any problems, probably about 3 days. No
So
issues
we
at all.
need to follow up within 2 days.
She'll respond back and tell him it's just south of Vor. Head east. It's 3 days' time. I can give you further instructions soon, but tell no one and get what crew you can and get out.
Okay. I will take care of that right away.
You said you're gonna take care of it right away.
I guess we'll see what all of them are made of very soon.
Well, that's something, man.
Dahlia, do you need help with your father?
Shit, I just took the biggest piece of chicken.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's okay.
Like when the waiter comes by. Really? Now?
Yeah, funny story. I had a mouthful of bread rolls at Texas Roadhouse last night. She came by, was like, "Do you need some more?" And I went, "Uh-huh." I wish it was on video. It was great.
That's great.
I'm so sorry. I got sidetracked. What was the question?
Do you need help with your father?
I actually talked to Silik this morning, and he is recruiting Abris help to get him, and that confuses and perplexes me, but I'm going to put some faith in him. So hopefully not at the moment.
I will
You
ask.
know anyone in the sanctuary?
Yes. I lived there for a very long time, actually. I know everyone there.
if you could put out some feelers for potential help, it wouldn't hurt to have more than one option.
We can talk to V about it today and see if there's anyone there that she has currently assisting her. They at least will know to be ready for him when he arrives.
Thank you.
And with that, let us tie up some of these loose ends, shall we? Let's go talk
Talking
to
to
V.
V then?
Yeah.
Head on over.
Still a little bit of trudge going on.
Trudge,
I'm
trudge,
falling
trudge.
behind you guys. Trudge, trudge,
Side note,
trudge.
DM, when I cast Sending, did I have any issues?
No.
Or, like, notice anything?
Nothing that seemed different or off from the norm.
For some reason, that's less comforting. I'm scared.
If Dahlia would feel like, okay, how does this feel afterwards? You can give me an Arcana check to see if like your magic does feel different after they're casting Sending.
She
Fun to make
will
her
progressively
insecure.
get uber paranoid, so...
Oh, that's good.
Oh my god, I thought it was a 1. I was about to cry. 20, not natural.
There seems to be kind of like it didn't require any more effort for you to cast Sending, but it feels like maybe the effect was delayed a bit. Like normally Sending would just kind of ping on you right away, but it's kind of like almost like you thought of the spell, and then maybe almost like it had like a lag to it. Like you couldn't start speaking to the spell until like 5 seconds later.
Okay. She'll have a very obvious, like, yikes face, but not say anything out loud.
Give me just like half a minute. I'll be right back.
We'll actually take the opportunity. Let's just take a break. Let's take a bio break. We'll just take the opportunity. Yeah. We'll take a 10-minute. We'll be right back. Allow everybody to stretch out and go to the bathroom. See you guys in a bit.
See you in 10.
All right, we're back.
Woo!
So we'll continue where we left off.
We're going to CV.
Gonna go see V. Since she really told you just come by whenever, you do see the two guards there. They immediately see you approaching. They hand in front before you get up the steps. One of them just, Commander, your guests have returned. All right, send them in. They open up the curtains for you.
Is it bright outside?
No, it's not that bright. There's still, due to the snow, sun's trying to get through, but it's hard.
Okay.
Girl, you have a parasol.
But if it's reflecting off the snow, the parasol's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
That's just for my sensitive skin.
Ask the skiers about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing as last time. She's sitting on her chair. Friends, welcome in. This time she's actually by herself. She's currently wearing her casual outfit, which is still the colors, browns, reds, a little bit of golds. She's got kind of like this sash that's like draped over from right shoulder to left hip. It's kind of almost kind of like, it's kind of like a little bit of crimson with like some gold writing in Elvish. For anybody who speaks Elvish, it specifically says, it specifically has Alasna's name on it, specifically by a creed. As she gestures over to the chairs. Sit. She's got already like, there's already just like, there's no setup for you, but there is like a pitcher of water and there is like a little pot of tea and then there's some cups. Help yourself.
I sit and grab a tea.
Okay.
He's
Same.
good.
It is just
Here,
a
just sit
herbal
and
tea
wait.
of very strong notes. So hopefully everyone had a restful evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
We have discussed somewhat your mission that you have brought to me. And I have been very clear with them that it would cede us certain advantages, such as a place to dock our vessel, perhaps some assistance if the council is hunting one of us, which we are not sure yet exactly, as well as give us an opportunity to take care of the Averant division that is to the south. We have decided, I believe, to freelance for real for now. So while we do not wish to join Heartwind specifically, we will decide for ourselves from here on out. I have expressed my wish to participate in training for my abilities, and I think we are in agreement that we need the help that you provide as much as you need the help that we could provide. So I let them know that you could give them some more information on what they're looking to walk into, and then perhaps we can come to an accord.
So you have more questions, or you're more determined to go in another direction?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but otherwise we're trapped here for now, and I did tell you I would try to help, and they seem amenable to the idea, but I think if you want to let them know the objectives so we can talk about what kind of time commitment we're looking at here, then we can go from there.
Fair enough. She steps up and she gestures you over to the western wall, which that's where the current war table has been moved. As you see the chess-like board set up with pieces, set up as the same map you're looking at. Map you're looking at now. As stated previously, if you'd be so obliged, you would head north for a long journey. Make your way into the Crimson Mountains. Scout out the area. If the opportunity presents itself, alert us. We do a pincer formation to attack the keep. 3 months to 6 months would be the time frame this would take. It would not be an overnight journey. The ice, the blizzard, and who knows what's inside the tunnels, which is why we need it mapped. You will be paid, compensated of course, and obviously all the things you stated: docking, help, and upon return, place to stay. Other than that, there's not really much to say because we don't know. As far as dangers, there are many. If there weren't, we could just get this to anyone. Creatures that are native to this area. Creatures that have far lived before this age in that mountain. Not including terrors of the weather itself. We would obviously supply you with rations. Helps with weaponry and ways to survive. Ways to sleep comfortably as best as we can with what we have limited. We would give you ways of communication, a point A to point B of sorts, and you would directly report to me.
So it's a scouting mission.
We would be doing exploratory work.
Essentially, yes.
Scouting, mapping.
Yes.
And what's in this cape?
The keep itself
Nelithir.
is currently our Nelithirians. Correct. Crimson Hollow is a very important point for us and for Avrant to take. Traveling, importing, exporting. It is just a prime location to make sure that we can help ourselves to retake back Heartwind Castle and the kingdom that it is part of. But for us to be able to do that, we need to make sure that we at least have something to start off at. We have Fort Phoenix, but that is merely a fort. It is not land. For this to work, we need to at least take Crimson Hollow. Then we have 2 of the 3 pieces of this map. We can move south and push Avrant out. From there, this part of the continent is ours, and we can slowly but surely start building our forces and are making our way further south, take back the kingdom that is rightly ours. But one does not just simply run into a lair not being prepared. You know you're going to fight a dragon, you must have forces to fight it. You're taking this one step at a time. You'll not take Crimson Hollow until we know that Crimson Hollow can be taken. You've tried 3 times and have failed 3 times. It is a castle. It is defended. And I'm sure many of you know that many Nelithirians, especially their soldiers, are very exceptional archers. We have one very good archer ourselves, but that is one. We have a battalion of very exceptional archers that we can't even get close. As she starts describing this, she almost kind of like makes it sound like almost like Troy, like the Trojan War. Like it's impossible to get up to even the gate. So she's imploring you to try to break in from the back.
What are your plans for prisoners?
I'm sorry, that broke up a little bit. What'd you say?
What are your plans for prisoners?
Prisoners. I feel like they're not going to be that many. Most Nelitharians like to go down swinging. But, as far as prisoners, we try to treat as best we can. If they're willing to surrender, we'll let them head back to Nelithir, tail between the legs if needed. If they're willing. We will not take prisoners of war if it is unnecessary. We are not murderers. We do not want this to be a bloodbath. Our job is to take what is ours and at least use fear to get them out. If they go down...
Then find a way for peace.
Hmm?
Then find a way for peace.
She steps out of her chair. Peace is an option that has been approached. It is an option that has been looked over. And it's an option that I still keep in my head. I do not approach this war with happiness. If I could, I would. If by any chance you have a way to convince their lords to come out and pursue peace, all intents purposes, have at it. But till that point, we'll approach our option in the manner that I just mentioned. And we'll approach it knowing the information we know. Uh-oh.
Damn it.
I'll wait.
Discord!
The internet is finicky today.
I will start. I will approach considering using. There's another program that I've been researching that's called. What is it called? Video Ninja. It's a web-based program that people just log in and just locks their webcam in a certain corner so it doesn't change like Discord when people leave and enter. And apparently it's a lot more user-friendly and a lot easier on a browser and internet than Discord because it's only using just webcams and nothing else.
I see I am a spinning orb of death. Love that.
Love that for you.
Okay, I'm vaxxed now.
Right?
Spoilers.
That's been a few weeks.
Quite a few.
Well,
Okay, so yeah, she just mentions until that point we will proceed as this is intended. We've been doing this for a while. This war's been happening for a considerable amount of time. And trust me, we have approached it. If for some reason an opportunity presents itself, then we'll deal with it then and change our direction how we're going to present this. But until that time, we will keep true. Take into account, I am not a king, I'm not a queen, and most certainly, I'm not a lord. I'm a commander. I represent no kingdom. I have an army that I built myself and I only represent a name and a country. For me to go up there without title, other than a military rank, and present myself, is not and will not work. The other problem is she paces back and forth. I have responsibilities outside of here. This isn't my only focus, even though it is important. I cannot sacrifice the other half for this. I must keep balanced as much as possible.
Speaking of balance, did you know that there is a soaring flame outpost on this island?
Tirek is quite aware.
And do you know their status?
They are patiently waiting for our confirmation. They try to stay as hidden as possible. As civilians, as mages, as guards, many people do not know that they're even there. Think of them as a last-ditch effort. Worst case scenario, we cannot take Princeton Hollow, or, gods forbid, they push us out of Arkstad, we can at least push and pincer Huriston and at least take that using Tirek as a flanking point.
So they intentionally have lost contact with the Soaring Flame and Everent, then?
They have been quiet, but that is intentional.
Even they do not seem to know, according to what God you heard there when he was visiting the followers of Alosna.
I have not spoken to him in some time. I cannot speak on that behalf.
Right.
We know why they're put there, and we know their situation of last time we spoke. But communication to them is quite difficult. Ravens are very hard to send around here, and we can't just send one of our soldiers to cross through Huriston to go over to Tirek.
We probably should have done that before we alerted the entirety of Hurston's new Everent forces that we were otherwise entangled. Nonetheless, sounds like that's a problem for after we take the island. In addition, I have one other request on Dahlia's behalf. Her father is currently in the care of Everent's Soaring Flame. And for obvious reasons, we are working on retrieving him. Do you have someone here that may contact that branch and alert them that her brother will be coming undercover, presumably to retrieve him in the near future, with assistance?
To retrieve him from Everett. We can make
Yes.
sure that one of our commanders there can make sure he is successfully taken in and out without issue.
Wonderful.
As far as what the brother deals with him after that, if he comes in to retrieve, we will not bar his path after he retrieves. We can make sure that he takes out as quickly as possible and without any problem. But if his intention is to retrieve himself, we'll let him do so. But we'll make sure that it's successful without error.
I'm very
That's more than enough.
Perfect.
And then my final point is I would like to talk to the Maester about ways that I can practice while we are gone for several months. I would like to spend that time trying to control my damage.
No problem. I can make sure that you're able to reconvene with Master Kinnock before you head out on your mission, to have him send you with training to implement a bad situation and make it more proper.
Alright.
So,
Anything else for anyone else before we start getting assembled? Is this amenable? You're muted.
What's that mean?
Are you okay with this?
I'll go where y'all go.
It is a time commitment, but it would be outside of the eyes of Averant. Maybe long enough for them to forget, or stop looking, or focus elsewhere. But it is also 6 months, 3 to 6 months, where we will be unable to affect the outside. If we could, to begin with. But keeping Dahlia out of the eyes of the council for 3 to 6 months seems like as good a plan as any to me.
Whatever it takes.
very well. From what I understand, it sounds like we have an accord. We will make sure that the brother is successfully taking out the father, that you have sufficient means to do this. We'll make sure you get paid. And you get to choose what you would like to do upon the completion, but if you get this done, you have a home here. And anywhere that the Soaring Flame resides. I will write
We
up
have
some...
we have already instructed our ship to head toward Phoenix. And so if you could prepare them for its arrival, they should be there in 3 days' time.
Very well. We will make sure that we keep out for... I'm sorry, what's your ship's name?
The Moonlit Dream.
Moonlit Dream.
Trim, I suspect that will change in the near future, as will its colors.
Moonlit Dream, that is perfectly fine, and it is an exceptional name. It's a gorgeous name. We will make sure that we keep our eyes out for Moonlit Dream and the crew that resides inside. They will also be able to take rest and have a home inside of Fort Phoenix itself.
A word of advice about the Moonlit Dream. Its crew was chosen by us, but they are aberrant, and I do not know how they will react to this news once they receive it. We have not been able to communicate to them properly.
Well,
I will leave that at your discretion, how you would like to handle that kindly, I hope, when they arrive, but I will not take offense if you decide to post guard on them for a time.
well, I advise that they are your crew, as she gestures to all of you, to make sure that we lessen any intrusion, embarrassment, or any kind of aggression. It would be best that you confer with your crew to let them know that they might be a crew of aberrant, but as long as you are with us, they're a crew of the Heartwind Guild, and they will stay
They're
as such.
actually not a crew of aberrant.
Are they not?
No, we made sure of that.
They're
Oh.
a crew of themselves.
Beautiful. Well, perhaps
Well,
they will take the
then that
news
is no
less
problem.
harshly.
Very well. We will keep our eyes open for the Moonlit Dream. As far as details, we will have you meet up with our armsmen. You will deal with any supplies you need to take with you, any extra weaponry, armor that you would like to take along with. We are limited with what we have, but with your help, I'm sure that they can help you out in a tight situation. far as money, first off, obviously, anything that you're able to find with them that they have available is of no cost. Weaponry, armor, on the house. Anything you can take with you. Obviously, heading there, you'll not need any. But upon your return, your team receive 100,000 gold out of my own stockade.
Pokes on my tea.
This is not a light amount I'm giving you, but you're also spending 6 months of time working on a job that we have sent 3 groups out that did not return, with the exception of one person that swore that they would not do it ever again. So, this is very important to us. Therefore, we are not taking it lightly. And this should show you how important it is to us.
The team that came back, can we find out whatever they were able to find out?
There's only one that came back upon the recent time. You can go find him over in the retirement barracks. He is far past giving up on this, but we swore that he would not leave. We've been trying to convince him to come back. He has seen whatever he's seen, but he has lost his mind of some sorts. You can find him down the ways a little bit. You'll be able to find, well, you'll know it when you see it. Head over to the barracks whenever you're ready. If you do not want to do this today, by all intents and purposes, take another day. But the latest, we'd like you to at least approach us tomorrow. Go speak to our armor. He will help you out with supplies. Anything that is both for weapons or comfort. We want to make sure that you at least have supplies.
Back.
He will have them for you.
Yeah.
Other than that, any other questions that you would have of me? Very well.
I look to the others and say, I need another day.
I think Gaji does too, for his personal project, rather.
What's this fella's name? Came back?
Hang on a second. I was just looking him up. Hagrid.
Thank you.
And the general you're looking for as far as the armorer is... Oh god, how did I pronounce this? I gotta remember how to pronounce this. General Theodemar. Theodemar. Theodemar.
Perhaps we get something to eat, and then we go about our preparations?
Sounds
Whatever
good.
you need to do. Just when you all ready, let me know, and I will make sure that I help you out on your way. Send you without all the information. The general has wares and weapons for you, but as far as what I have is exclusive to this tent. I'll send you with that information upon you're ready to depart.
Just let me know when the Maester's ready to see me.
You can go find him whenever you're ready. He is about 2 tents down, 2 to the left.
Perfect.
I know I'm paying you for this, and I know that you're getting many things out of the deal, but as far as myself and the Sword and Flame, I do appreciate this. Take your day, do what you need to do, and approach everything at your earliest convenience tomorrow. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll set you off on your way. As she heads back over and she goes sit back on, you can see there's a not really procession, but there's maybe about a couple parties waiting for their turn to kind of come into the tent after you, and the guards are kind of holding them back until it is their turn.
Ren stands and just gives, puts their fist on their chest and just says, "I will not let you down." And they leave the tent.
Okay.
Ma'am. Follows.
I do a nod and head out.
Okay.
Same.
All right.
Apollo just walks out.
Apollo's so hardcore now.
As you enter, you exit the tent, you do see that the guards kind of bar a path for you to exit out. As there are a couple parties. One is of 5 and another one is of 3. The one of 5 looks like maybe a couple soldiers and a couple civilians. Looks like they're dealing with simple grievances. And it looks like the 2 after them, 2 or 3 after them, looks like actually more political. Nice suits, but they're definitely more made for the winter, as they have furs on them, but they're definitely not meant for war.
Do I recognize any of those people?
You do not.
Hmm.
Actually, give me a perception check on them.
Okay.
Alright,
that's not bad.
Yeah.
21.
21. You don't recognize them specifically, but one of them, kind of almost like a pin of like some secret organization, Illuminati kind of thing like that. You do see a pin of the symbol of one that looks very similar to your contact. It looks like the same thing, but a little slightly different.
Interesting.
But it's very much kind of like, it's like holding like, it's like, it's not the clasp that's holding them in their cloak together, but it's almost kind of like pinned to it. And it's so slight that just looks like like almost like a clan or like a house pin. But you're the one that kind of knows that's like, that's not a house seal, that's actually an order seal, kind of like that. Like almost like, instead of proving who you are, you're just showing them the pin and it actually shows that you actually are a contact kind of thing.
Right. I'm gonna bring, as we walk away, like, Ren's shadow from the sun
Okay.
forms into a bird, and I just send it back to perch on the tent.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
So I guess we go on to food.
Yes.
Food sounds good.
Is there much to talk about that we haven't talked about already?
Heading over
Guess
to
we're
us.
doing this thing.
Heading over to like the tavern tent, you do find out that they are having just a random mishmash stew. You're not quite sure what's inside, but they do have a thick kind of stew. It has some meat in there and some chunks of something that you're not quite sure, but does smell appealing. Not as hearty as what you're used to, but at least it's just something supplemental to actually fight against the cold. And right now it is pretty empty in there. There's a couple tables that you can sit at that are at least more secure than the one that Apollo is at, that you can sit down at and have free chairs to sit down and at least talk.
And not have it go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Dira's still kind of running on autopilot. Reactive rather than active.
I'm sorry, I know this is a lot.
We at least have a mission. We can focus on that for the time being.
Ain't you're doing.
Something.
You've offered us the best plan B that we could have asked for, so there's nothing to be sorry about.
I glance at Apollo for a second. I suppose you're right.
Sorry, what was that?
I like quickly glance Apollo's direction and then glance back at everyone before saying, I suppose you're right. How are we all feeling?
Do what we gotta do.
I can feel my magic waning a bit, I think. So that may be something to figure out before we go.
You know, we want to worship.
Do you want to worship someone at all?
My track record is not great, I will admit. However, we need a healer, and that's what I want to be. So, if there's someone that's super cool and actually cool that is willing to help, I'm open.
I will tell you right now, you're not likely to find someone with a higher opinion, with more faith or diligence toward Alasna on this island than the woman we just spoke to. So if you would like to address her about that topic, she may have some advice for you, but it is very personal to her.
I can also introduce you if you need.
I'm
The only
open
one
to
that
learning
turned
whatever
out
I
to be a
can.
basket case so far.
Say that again?
It says she's the only one ain't turned out to be a basket case so far.
So far.
So far.
They all got their problems.
Don't we all?
While I'm sure I could appreciate her wisdom, I trust you guys and your opinions a lot more, to be honest, so...
Speaking
if
of
there's
which,
instructions to be made, I'm open.
Zephynia, can we talk about your revelation yesterday?
Oh boy.
How crowded is the bar area?
Not
It's
very
mostly
crowded.
empty.
Yeah, it's mostly empty. There's maybe a few patrons right now. One soldier.
Okay. I'm going to lean in very closely and just like gesture everybody to lean in and just tell them again everything that happened. And bear with me because I'm going through my notes again because I can't remember everything.
It's part of the reason I asked, because it was a
I'm
minute
going-
ago.
Oh no, we're going to do this now. So
Sorry to put you on the spot.
I was sleeping and I got summoned to the room, the temple, where there were statues of Kokopiel and Amaros, and I met Malik, and he had said he would help me kill Kokopiel. And I'm not sure how I feel about this, but he would help me almost take her place. She hasn't done much for us, much for the world.
Ren's
an option.
Ren's eyes are fixed on Dira right now, but is talking to Zephynia.
It's
And
you want to do this? Why? Actually, freedom, I guess. I've seen her. I've seen what she can do. I've seen the path she walks. Not a good path.
Which one of her?
Exactly.
Did he specify?
All. I'm assuming all.
God killing is no
There's-
easy feat.
There's too many of her right now.
It ain't something you can undo either.
No.
There's too many, that's the problem.
Does it weaken her when one disappears, or make the others stronger?
We don't know. And I guess we won't know until we find out.
Dira,
What's in that for him?
what's in... What? A wonderful question, actually.
That is a very wonderful
They all got
question.
things they want. He can't be no exception.
I don't know, but maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll help. I mean, she's broken. She's not who she was.
And that's
she's
the reason
not.
to kill her.
But how do you know that he's no better?
I don't, I guess.
Dearest?
Malik has only ever wanted peace. A family. He was denied that by his mothers.
So you think
What
it's a
kind
good
of family? What kind of peace?
Everyone says they want peace.
People talk an awful lot about peace.
I know they imprisoned
Usually it
him.
means control.
They imprisoned him for a long, long time because he had talked to peace. I mean, that can't be good.
Sounds like we need to know a little more, maybe. You talked about these blades as well. Is he asking you to find them?
That they're out there. And I kind of hold up a ring and he said, just to show everybody, he said to focus on it. And then it may help me find the blade that the blades may not be blades, they may be anything, they may be people, they may be a book.
People.
I didn't quite understand.
I mean no disrespect when I say this, Siphinia. You are exceptional in your capabilities, but why did he choose you?
I'm guessing these, and I look down at the tattoos.
Aren't they from Cacorial?
They are.
It
Or
makes
rather,
more
a version of
questions.
her.
It makes more questions than it does answers. Honestly. And Dira, how do you feel about this? She is your goddess, is she not?
Sounds like she ain't been for as long as I knew her, but I think she deserves a chance to be. If I still say can't judge her unless she's her, I still want to find a way. I don't know if there's a way to make that happen.
At what point
But-
does she stop being redeemable, Dira?
She can't answer that.
Does she need to kill thousands of more people before? I mean, look at New
I think we
Avern. Look
can't-
at everything we just left behind.
I understand that. You think I don't? You think I want that? I ain't stupid. I ain't blind.
If we have an opportunity to stop her and stop them, shouldn't we think about it? Should we take it?
Are those the same thing? Do we know that?
She's quite literally running the army.
That's
She's
a
the
piece
queen.
of her.
What's this for?
That's a piece of her. So's Luna. Luna can learn. Do we? And I think I don't know what I think. I just know that she ain't what she's supposed to be. If she still thinks that, if she still wants to set everything back, if these are the things that stop her, then we do. Because that ain't right either.
I don't think she wants
I'm
to
just
be
real-
fixed.
I think there's pieces that have power and they don't want that to change. And there's pieces that don't and they deserve better.
What pieces?
Luna, she has what she has. I don't even know about her. All Mother, that's just anger and fear and nothing that makes sense. And there's, oh hell, I ain't told you that. Ugh. I saw the temple in the city, and it was, I don't know, a dream, a vision, one of those things we don't understand. There's a little girl, and I think she's her too. And she don't understand, and she don't want things to hurt. She don't want people to hurt, and they tell her she ain't allowed to leave.
You think they've trapped part of her that is contrary to the goals of the rest?
Maybe. I think there's a place where there's a point where she went wrong. She wasn't always this.
Well, if she's been trapping people that have only wanted peace for a very long time, are we so certain?
She was child once. She wanted to set everything back. I don't know. Maybe that's the answer for her instead of the world.
And maybe we just destroy part of her and keep the innocent one alive.
Maybe.
Apollo, how do you feel? I mean, she is the reason you died.
It is what it is. A leopard can't change its spots, and we give it the option that if she wants to maybe recombine with Zephinia, we let her, and if not, then we put her down.
When you say recombine with Zephinia, what exactly happened there? Because I wasn't privy to quite all of that when it went
I mean,
the way that it did.
I'm assuming that if Luna can give Zephinia some of her power, and Malik believes that some of that power is in there, and Zephinia can become a replacement for Kokopiel, then I would logically believe that maybe Kokopiel can recombine with Zephinia, and I guess let her take the helm and be benevolent as a deity, if that's what it is, I guess. But again, if the parts of her aren't willing, then we do what we have to.
Zephinia, do you know what you're asking for? You want godhood.
I don't want godhood.
Maybe that's
But-
why you deserve it.
I've proven that I can take some of her power, and she's done. What has she done for us? What has she done for the world recently? If it's
What
something that I can control, I can take in me, I can help. Important conversation. Then,
She heard her name.
yes, little Luna. I won't destroy you, I promise. Maybe it's something I can help make better. Maybe this is my path. Maybe this was always supposed to happen.
Maybe we need some more information. And maybe the more that we illuminate, the more we will understand. But those blades could be useful for more than just taking down a renegade god. They could turn the tide of war. In the wrong hands, they could destroy the world. So if we do find them, maybe better than Averant getting their hands on them, at least.
What's Gaiju doing right now? Dahlia is probably watching him, especially since the blades are being brought up.
I think he's kind of just sitting there in silence, mainly because he's kind of known that Kokopiel's been a mess for so long and kind of knows what Zephinia knows already. I guess he's just having trouble, like, forming an opinion on what to do. Just because it's not his god, not one he's ever really had a relationship with. I don't know.
She's just gonna watch him.
The fact is, that's all long term. For now, perhaps we just focus on the small things. Each other, this mission, and just do what we need to do. The other things we can try to learn about, but inevitably when we are stuck on this small island in the whole world, none of it might matter right now. Or who knows, maybe you'll all be visited in dreams by the deities you so choose. Or maybe Treya will have some revelation for us at some point, but until then, we have a far simpler task, all things considered.
Was there a deadline on this, Avinia?
No deadline. No deadline as far as I'm aware.
I mean, he's waited this long. I think he can wait a few months.
I agree that we watch for these things. We take hold of them if we find them. We can figure out from there. Maybe we'll know more by then.
I wouldn't think this would be something that could happen anytime soon. I mean, we'd have to find at least some of these blades. Find the pieces of her. It's gonna be a journey.
The perfect reason to not work under any banners except your own. You are free to pursue whatever you choose.
I'm just real tired of people being inconvenient and that being a reason to kill him. And I know that that's the reason the Queen has. I definitely don't hold with that.
I would say calling Kokobiel's actions an inconvenience is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, depends on what she does now.
And what she keeps doing the longer we sit here.
Do I have
Anyway.
your help in this?
Yes, a problem that needs solved one way or another. I think we agree on that.
Yes. How it is solved, I think that is a question for another day, but I think we are all on board with helping change something. If we don't make it better...
Sorry.
Kitty butt! I'm sorry, I just looked up and there
It was a tail.
Did you just take a butthole in Ren's voice?
It was actually his tail. He's half naked.
Oh my god.
D&D kitties ruining the moments.
That's right.
Always. It's just Ren saying it that kills me.
The issue that I have with Heartwind and Nelithir is the same that I have with Avrant and the same that I have with Kokopiel. They would rather war than find any other solution. This is a perfect time for nations outside of Avrant's control to form alliances and to rise up against their oppressors instead of fighting each other incessantly for hundreds of years, perhaps more than they already have been. And yet, here they are, bickering over a fucking island.
And maybe
just
this
feels-
is our start to fix it.
I agree. It just feels much bigger than that to me.
According
we
to the
take-
story, that was Kokobiel's problem and why she said everything needed to be set back.
Exactly, and then
Maybe
look
we
what
need
she
to
did.
prove we're better than that.
I will tell you, when we get to the north, it is not my desire to hold hostage the Nelithiran fort. I would rather it end in an alliance than anything else. I do not know if that is possible, but it is my wish.
No. Learning the way there that's safe might be the best way to do that.
Perhaps we can offer them something that V and Heartwind could not. As free agents outside. I do not wish to go against her orders, but I do not wish to shed the blood of my countrymen on behalf of my pacifist organization.
Wow.
Well, you thankfully have one bargaining chip for Nalazer.
You? Not in 100 years, aren't you? Not in 1,000.
Not an option.
Nope.
Not happening.
Better or worse, all of us are in this together now.
Yep.
It's the only way to do anything. The only way to do it right.
So, I guess we'll put the pin in this god-killing conversation until...
Until it's even a possibility.
Let's find
Well-
one blade first and go from there. How's
you
that
have
sound?
a ring, Zephynia?
I do, and I'm gonna show him. I have to focus. Can I try focusing on it now?
On what specifically?
The ring that Malik had given me to try and focus and find the blades.
Yeah, you can, if you want, you can try to. Are you wearing it?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so, you can tell right now the stone itself isn't glowing, but if you want to, try to like see if there's maybe more you can do, you can give me an insight check. You can tell that almost kind of like an intermediate, like a very close range detector is when the stone illuminates itself. Like, you got to be really close to somebody, but as you start to focus on it, you almost can like get a slight like echolocation vision. Nothing of like, I can see all the world, kind of like that, but, a little bit of a distance. As far as in your vision, nothing gets, like, people don't exist. But something just kind of pops for a second. Due north. As you're focusing on it, you just sense something due north. And again, in this concentration you have, you don't see people, you don't see the world and then what's in it. It shows that there's something that's related to the blades, and if it's nearby, and you see this something north.
You guys see me like almost cross-eyed looking at this, closing my eyes, then oh, it's north. I don't know where north. I'm like, it works.
How convenient. We're headed in that direction.
I was gonna
Maybe
say.
we'll come across it.
I'd say based on that check, you're unable to determine how far the radius was of it, so you don't know if it's like north that it's in the hollow, or north that's in the mountains, or north that's past. You're not quite sure of the range that's actually detecting for you. You have nothing to base
Let's
it on.
keep checking.
Okay.
That's a
Red
start.
stone.
Could be past the ocean from there, but we never know until we get there.
All I know is north.
That's enough. No. Well, this is decidedly more positive than this time yesterday.
Can the bar
Ren
really get
says.
much lower?
Don't ask a question you don't truly want an answer to.
Live got the point.
We got something to do that don't sound like we wanted to be doing anything else but that. So that's something.
Well,
Well, I have a date with a man who can teach me how to control my own shadow, so I'm going to go do that.
There's something I don't
Right.
hear every day.
and I need to go find a new god. So,
So perhaps we can split up and some of us can... Did someone want to go talk to that soldier who came
Hagrid.
back?
That'd
Yes,
be it.
Hagrid.
I'd like to.
Both of you are a perfect candidate for that, honestly. Your empathy is a lot higher than mine. Anyway, I get up from the table.
Whether we'll make head nor tails of what he has to say is another question entirely. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Maybe your powers, Zephinia, can help him.
Quite possibly. I haven't figured out all that I can do yet, but I know I can at least heal. And maybe scare the occasional soldier.
Yes.
both are very beneficial.
Alright, well, let's meet up in 4 or 5 hours back here, and we'll... I'm going to go train. You two are going to speak to that Hagrid. Are you going to talk to someone about Alasna, or you and Gaju going to commune or something? I don't know how that works.
She looks to guide you for confirmation. Of like,
We can give it a try. I've never tried to contact her with someone else, but
I'm sure there are likely priests who could help you with that here. If you want to ask around, there might even be a temple here on the grounds. Might be small, might be makeshift, but I assure you there is one. A shrine, at least.
that's
we
possible.
have options.
Apollo, what would you like to do?
No, if you're all going off, I'm gonna get a drink. And he gets up and walks to the bar.
I had other ideas, but if that's what you choose,
Get your
it's
drink
fine.
on.
He's just gonna get sloshed for 2 days until we leave.
I'm
Just
mood, honestly.
He's
So hard-
super drunk.
So hard.
Someone please check on him later.
Yeah, we will.
I was going to see if he wanted to pursue the things at the armory, but if he
We need
needs
to
a
do that.
break.
I might need to check in there later as well, but we'll see. More important to find out what we came from this Hagrid
Well,
person.
let's meet up there in the afternoon then. We can all assemble.
I'm sure we could come back and check up on Apollo. Right, Gaju?
Yeah.
Sure.
We're all just
Sure,
like
whatever.
should we?
He's like, I'm
intervene in
standing
this, or
right over
should,
here. I can hear you.
Should we just let him do this?
Well, that's okay.
Or
That
not?
means you know that we care about you.
Yeah,
You have your space. You
Like,
you want
we want you to have
Standby
space,
hours. We're giving them to you.
but also
from a
we want to
distance.
make sure the space is not
You
bad.
want to make sure the space is not going to eat you.
Yeah, we can check on him.
Okay. Gets up and walks away.
What's Treya doing?
Yeah, I
Treya,
think I'm gonna take.
Treya is just kind of moseying around. She's just kind of like not far from you, but she's just kind of waiting to see where everybody's gonna go, and she's not really giving too much input, but doesn't want to go too far.
Treya, would you like to come with me and watch some interesting events unfold, or would you like to go see a man who's seen maybe as many ghosts of you as you have?
Neither of those really sound fun.
I mean, you get to watch me do some really cool shit. if you want to come with me.
Uh,
But you could.
okay, sure. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, okay, I'll follow you. Sure.
I would prefer that.
I'll be honest though, I'm a little cold, so I'm just. Hopefully, you don't mind, and she just turns into like a wolf. She's just like.
That is completely fine.
You gotta make sure to get her warm clothes before we go anywhere.
Oh yeah,
She-
we're gonna get
Yeah,
so
she's just
many warm clothes.
she's rocking like a sundress this whole time. She's freezing.
Oh my gosh! No, I gave her my cloak earlier. Like,
That's
let's
true.
say we put shoes. We put shoes
Get her
on this
some
girl.
real
Come on.
clothes.
Psychopath.
No one
Like,
said
what?
she
I
was
thought
a
I had to
sane
wear this
person.
The
It's like
whole
those people that
time.
wear shorts and sandals in the middle of a snowstorm. and you're
Hell
just like, "Who
yeah.
are you?"
Right. Well, and I'm also like, what level of druid is she? There comes a point where that shouldn't bother her, but I don't think she's quite there yet.
Nope, not yet. She doesn't have any resistance to the cold. She's just a half elf.
Well, there's a point in as a druid that doesn't. That
I believe it's later on. It's like I think it's like in the
It's-
teens.
It's
of
fairly
levels.
high. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in the teens.
Yeah.
We know she's super powered, but I guess not that
Yeah.
super powered yet.
Yeah, currently
Yeah.
she has no resistances to anything except for being charmed, and she can't be put to sleep.
Which is standard half elf stuff.
Mhm.
Let me see.
I will get up and follow after Dahlia since she needs God help.
Yay for
Are
God
you
help!
there, God?
Yay.
It's me, Dahlia.
Yo, what up? It's your homie.
It's me, your boy.
Okay, so all right, so everybody kind of breaks off and does their own thing.
Mhm.
We'll start off with, because it was just a recent topic, God help. There is an obvious like tent that's different than the rest. This tent itself actually is a little bit bigger than even the commander's tent, but this one specifically is meant for ritual casting and prayer. This is actually pretty close to actually where Ren would be going to go speak to Mystic Keenock, because he is one of the Maesters that actually works in that actual specific tent, but he is not in there at the current moment. Most of the people there are specific Maesters, or I wouldn't necessarily say clerics, but maybe they're clerics once a time and much passive, resigned, and it's just mostly have given themselves up to an overall order, which is this.
Feel you, boo.
Inside there are several statues. Believe it or not, there's not actually one for Lasna there. The tent itself actually is a technically 5-pole tent. There's one in the center, but it's 4 on each side. In front of each pillar holding up the tent, there is essentially about a 7-foot statue. Knowing your knowledge of most of the gods, there are 2 of them you recognize and 2 of them you do not. I'll pull up the names real quick. So one is a god called Ostis, which is the god of the mountains. Normally he's supposed to be represented as a sea serpent, but in this case you actually see a statue of which looks like a monkish warrior with a staff, but you essentially see what looks like a snake wrapping around their body and then going up and then kind of like almost like partially tattooed at certain points, but then almost like coming through the body.
Mhm.
The other one is Utara, the goddess of healing and medicine. You see that one is specifically what looks kind of like a statue of like an elven druid, but big hair, kind of almost like the accentuated point, and a long dress that almost over widens the statue. The other 2 of themselves are odd to you. You do not recognize them, but they are being used. One is a statue of what looks like either a giant or a Goliath. The statue itself has specifically this large, what looks like, because the statue size, it does not give it justice, that he is supposed to be larger than life, and he has what looks like an axe in one hand. Taking into account the statues don't have colors, so you can't really tell what the axe is, but based off its shape, you can assume based off of its shape that maybe it's a frost axe due to its diamondy kind of style to it. And you can see that on the side, it looks like there is the one major point of him is it looks like half his face has a tattoo of a wolf. The only other one that you notice is in another corner that you don't recognize is almost one that a lot of people seem to be going towards. This is what looks like more of an angelic god. Wings that drape off like a cloak off of her shoulders. The only way you can tell it's a female is due to the figure. Other than that, the face is actually specifically not made in it due to the fact is that the hood is so far over that the face would be shadowed. So the actual part where the shadow is actually just made of clay, not to show the face within the hood. And
that one has the most people?
That seems to be attracting more people. It seems like that's the more popular at times, and then the other one that grabs more attention than not is specifically God of the Mountains, due to your location.
Mm-hmm.
They're all being attended to. There's occasionally clerics going to each one, and then occasionally after like a few hours you can tell that most likely as a regular maester's duty is to, if they are attending a certain temple, church, any kind of monastery, one of their jobs is to rotate sacrificial objects or runic means so it is reset up for the next visitors, guests to go to. And you can see after so many people like burning candles, lighting whatever, they're eventually clearing it off for the next people to come around.
So I'll probably look around the entire room and seem a little surprised that there's not anything for Alasna here, and go, that's interesting.
Do you say this out loud?
Yeah. To guide you, like not super loud, but...
Okay. When you say that, a male maester, bald, hood's down, but he's wearing a long white cloak, but has a lot of fur on it to allow it to keep him warm, comes out, and it's almost kind of like half like a fur jacket, half coat, where like his sleeves still have fur on him, but he's got his hands tucked in and he's got them clasped together. It is not an odd question for someone to be concerned about no statue of Alasna, but many statues of Alasna don't exist in this world, except for in bigger locations, and they can't necessarily move one around. But our order itself respects Alasna, and she respects us for it. She allows us to communicate through anyone, including other gods. If you feel like you'd like to speak of Alasna, you can speak through any one of these statues. Any one of them can be used as a vessel.
Right. Yeah. It's just interesting. I don't know some of these gods, and then it was interesting seeing Utara here, and like glances at Gaiju because he mentioned her first. But yeah, we'll find what we need here, I'm sure.
Well, if you have any questions about any of the specific gods, feel free to ask. So he turns around and he starts going in front of like this specific spot that's just for them, and it's like almost like a circular stone that looks like it's part of like the actual area, and just starts praying in front of it.
Okay. Looks at Gaiju. Lead the way.
Sure.
Or do you want me to lead the way? I don't know, it's your god. But I mean, I can do prayer things.
So basically, we can go to like any of the statues.
Yeah, so the essential idea is that under normal circumstances, each statue is for each god, you know them, you're attuned to them, you can speak to them. But in the certain circumstances, this order represents a lasna. A lasna can be spoken through anything as long as it has some kind of essentially like some kind of essence of her around, since this is essentially it'll work in a certain circumstance.
I guess I'll kind of lead the way to the Nutara one, just because that's the god that my mother worships. And I'll also pull out my pendant for Lasna. I'm gonna be honest, praying is still a very unusual thing for me. I don't know if you have a preference, Dahlia.
She just sits cross on the ground, and Pat's like next door for you to do the same.
He'll kind of climb down as best he can in the hooves and take a seat beside her. And then I guess with the hand with the pendant, he's gonna kind of like rest it on her shoulder so that way she also has contact with the pendant. And I guess he'll try to slip into a prayer.
If he moves to put his hand on her shoulder, she'll just take his hand in her hand and have the pendant in between their hands.
Okay.
Just feels more comfortable this way. Sorry.
Okay.
And then, like, relaxes the shoulders, closes the eyes, and I mean, it's routine for her.
Okay.
So she falls right into it.
Gaji, you do the same thing. You just relax and close your eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
As you both relax into this and try to fully envelop yourself into the situation, you both can feel the pendant that you're trying to connect to each other lift up, and immediately, as you close your eyes, you only see in your vision the statue. The pendant floats up, and you can feel it being pulled from your hands. It immediately goes into the face of the statue. As the pendant itself overheats and starts to almost melt the stone off the statue, you start to see nothing but just heat. The statue starts to move, and then you see like almost like the outer shell of it turn into wings and start unfolding itself until you see the body of Alasna standing within. Shedding herself of the statue of Atara. Immediately flapping her wings out, stretch out her body. Stepping down in your vision, you're seeing her as about 8 feet tall. Stretching her to length, legs going down a step to a step. As she relaxes her wings, as they drape down and no longer overheated, as they start to turn into the normal black and orange colors that her specific style is. Her dress now drapes down as she opens up her eyes and re-looks. Drops down into one knee. Just crosses over and looks right at you. So, what is it that you ask of me today?
Dahlia?
No!
Oh no.
Damn you, Discord!
We live in
Lord.
suspense.
They have the worst luck with getting booted tonight. It is astounding.
I swear to God, Discord keeps closing on me, and I am going to fucking lose it.
It's the most
you asking me?
inopportune moment.
No.
It really is.
Suddenly, Gaiji just disappears and Dolly's like,
Amazing.
"Uh,
Oh my god.
hey, bestie, like.
Alaza, as you know, my teammate Dahlia, she hasn't had the best luck with gods. So I figured I would once again introduce you to her.
Hi. It's been a minute.
As you see her like turn her body to look at you, you can almost, her wings are almost like capes that are long past you, and you can feel the difference between heat and cold as her wings laying on the ground is almost melting the snow beneath them. She shifts over and she looks directly at you, staring as you can see her eyes just push through as it looks like with mere seconds she can just understand the turmoils that you've gone through in the past months, switching back and forth between one god to another. She steps back up, lifts the arch of her wings back as they lift themselves off the ground. I understand your turmoil. I understand your issues as a cleric. Going from one that you do not trust to another that has abandoned you.
Ouch. Yeah.
What do you ask of me?
It's complicated because I feel like my trust in the gods is changed and it's shaken. But I want to help my friends. I want to serve someone that I believe in, that will help. And I want to help. But it's feeling like it's getting harder to be able to find that. Then I guess I could ask for guidance or an answer if you have one.
She starts moving around you, circling, draping her wings around. There's a guidance that you ask for, a replacement. I can give you one, but not the other. Do you want an answer to a question, or do you want a replacement for what you have lost?
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to have the god I worship feel like a replacement. I feel like, a cleric's duties and worship, are more than that. It's a bond, it's a connection, and it's believing in you as you believe in me. So
she looks at you and keeps circling, as you can feel the heat moving around, overwhelming the cold. Clerics, paladins, mages. A third of this realm seems to be where you started, following a god who is not giving, but only taking. You've seen that part. Then you decide to go for a god that has once been familiar with me, and I him. And he's become estranged, taking his own personal needs ahead of his own. You want to dedicate yourself to being what you started off at, not abandoning what you started. I can lead you in the right direction, whether that's here or somewhere else, but you need to choose. You feel your feet planted here, is where you want to be, or do you feel somewhere else is where your destiny lies?
Her eyes drift over to Gaiju to see his to read his expression briefly.
I'm like trying to figure out how to describe it. I think he's understanding. I really just want to say like acceptance, and maybe that's a bit of reassurance. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just saying like there's no right or wrong answer. It's just saying how he's reacting and like how he's perceiving Alazna as well. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So she'll see that, and then she'll look back to Alazna and take a deep breath and just say, I choose to be here.
She stops. Very well. No, that I will not abandon you, but I expect more from you than most gods would expect of theirs. You dedicate yourself, I dedicate myself. But I am not Gladlin. And I'm not Gakopiel. I will be around, but we are not partners like Gladlin treated you. I have many that follow. I have many that follow. And time like this is few and thin. When you need me, I will help. But if I'm not there, I might not be there. But if I can, I will. You give your time to me, and I will try to do as best I can to give it back. Do you agree to this?
You just see like relief kind of flood her because this is something that's really plagued her. And she nods and enthusiastically and is like, absolutely, yes.
She steps in front of you, kneeling to your level, looking at you directly in the eyes. She starts to decrease her size so she can put her hand on your shoulder. Well then. Kneel.
She kneels.
Okay. As she just summons a sword out of flare. She just places on one shoulder, then the other, and just about an inch off the top of your hair. She then turns in the embers, but they don't really form into her hands. They start surrounding you, spinning like fireflies surrounding you. You start to feel a warmth within you. Safe, but explosive. Like any second you could just erupt. Stand.
She does it.
As they just kind of get pulled into you, as you just feel like a glow for a second. That just calms itself down as you can feel something just happen, but she does not tell you what. From now on, you are now a cleric of my order. Take an account I understand the path you were on, and if you choose to veer from that path, you will not lose my patronage. You do not need to be a soaring flame order to have my allegiance. But, as she looks at you directly in the eyes, if you go back to where you started, I will abandon you.
Understood.
Looks over to Gaju. Places one hand on Gaju's hand, one hand on Dahlia's hand, as you both start to feel like a glow coming from your palms. Now there are two. And you are forever stronger because of it. As her wings start to fold over both of you, start to wrap over to create a dome of fire. I just read that. Fuck.
I can't look at Ben. I can't fucking look at Ben anytime. Anytime Dolly's in the same room as Gaiju.
I wrote nothing.
I have not checked the chat for a reason.
It was me!
What did you fucking do?
It's Kayla.
As she just looks at you, you are too strong. Whatever path you stay, as long as it is on a path that I can recognize, I will follow and I will help when I can. Till then, you will have my blessing. You start to see her start to turn in embers, with the last thing that's touching is the hands. Until they start getting pulled back into the statue, and you just see the statue reform, reverse back into the original form. As you open up your eyes, you are back sitting on the ground, with the pendant back by you. And that's where we're gonna end
Is it? Okay.
Yay, you have a god now.
Woo! It's the third time's charm, am I right,
That's
guys?
right. Absolutely.
How
Absolutely
many,
not 3 strikes and you're out.
how many party members can we get to worship Alazna game? Gaju is like the Alazna missionary of slowly converting all of us.
He really is.
So,
He has pamphlets and everything.
now that we took a weight off of Dahlia's shoulders, we'll end it there, and we'll end it for the night. Thank you everyone for checking out the stream. Don't forget that we got 2 more this week, so join us in tomorrow and Thursday, same times, same location, for some Star Wars and Echoes. Echoes will be a good one, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And Star Wars is always a lot of fun, so check out episode 1. So, we'll see you tomorrow, and have a good night.
Bye!